Hello and welcome to the. Hello and welcome to the.
You started off right.
I wrote that backwards.
What up? Professionally unprofessional.
Hello and welcome to the 17th episode of Damage Control Podcasting, a professionally unprofessional look at the conventions, ideas, and genres of filmmaking. I am here with
Joshua Snyder.
Daniel Newkirk.
Cody Dietrich.
Joshua. Okay, let's get right.
I got all formal on you. My bad.
That's all right. Let's get right to the news. Black Panther raked in $75.8 million on Friday, the 8th largest Friday opening, beating out Civil War at $75.5 million, rounding the weekend with $387 million at the global box office. Has anyone seen it?
Not yet. I go see tomorrow.
Same.
I have not seen it either.
Can I give my spoiler-free review?
Please do.
All right.
If it's not spoiler free, I will stab you with this pen.
I loved it.
That means there's not going to be a damn thing to laugh at.
No.
This is going to be like Batman v Superman. He's going to be like, this was awesome. We're going to go in, and we're going to have to burn the building down.
No. Hey, guys, I took my time. Okay, here we go. It had a lot of substance to it rather than just another cape and cow flick. It had political issues to deal with, wrapped up with its blockbuster CGI extravaganza. The opening was very non-Marvel. Very much a non-Marvel opening.
I'm into that lately.
But it got quickly back to the Marvel method. Enjoyed the cast. I believed the cast as the characters. Let me get back to where I was. Chadwick Boseman, really felt like royalty. I would bow down to him. He demanded the respect. Didn't really feel. Maybe it's because I didn't really know any of the actors, but the only person that felt like an actor was Forrest Whitaker, was mainly because I've seen him in a lot of movies.
Oh, I didn't realize Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Spoiler, he's in it.
Oh, no. Okay.
How dare you?
Love the bad guys. Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger was my favorite. He different than most bad guys because he's actually fleshed out and he has not the typical MO.
So is Killmonger just the evil Black Panther, or is there a lot more to it?
There's a lot more to it. Okay,
good. Because I'm getting real frustrated with Marvel movies where the villain is an evil hero. Like Iron Man 1, Ironmonger was just evil Iron Man. Baron Mordo was just evil Doctor Strange. And I'm sorry, that wasn't Baron Mordo, but whatever the guy's name was in Doctor Strange.
Castellan or something.
Yeah, that's it. And then you've got, Ares was the evil Greek god in Wonder Woman. I'm so tired of that trope. Give me something interesting and new.
Well, do you really want...
Just tell me he's not evil Black Panther, like the way he looks.
No, there's more to it than that.
Okay,
besides the way he looks, there's more to it than that.
Okay.
He's different. His he doesn't have the typical "I want to destroy the world" MO or "I want to destroy." Enter the whatever superhero you're watching cliche. Okay. He's very sympathetic, and you actually kind of root for him.
Nice.
Excellent hair. This is my rating. I give it a Stephen Baldwin from Biodome +8.
Damn.
That's my hair rating.
That's a pretty good rating.
Yeah. I loved Andy Serkis's Claw. Great haircut. Another great haircut. I give it an Andy Serkis from Age of Ultron -2, only because he was shorter on top in this one. He had it more to the side in Age of Ultron.
More douched over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dick. The typical Marvel humor was there, but not irritatingly enough. For me, there was a couple of cringe moments, but most of the jokes they earned, and most of the funny characters it was natural. It wasn't like this guy is now going to be the comedy foil. Like the jokes were earned. Besides a few cringe moments that I didn't care for, it was
good.
The world building was awesome. Wakanda was awesome. Never got bored of it. I enjoyed the score. It wasn't your typical orchestral score.
Yeah. The trailer makes that movie sound like it's going to have one hell of a soundtrack, and I'm really excited for it.
I'm not talking about the soundtrack. I'm talking about the actual score.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know much about African culture, but I'm hoping that was pretty I hoping it wasn't just white people trying to imitate I enjoyed the score. It wasn't your usual orchestral score.
Okay.
Things I didn't like. Did T'Challa's eyes, were they visible through his cowl in Civil War?
No.
They're almost never visible in anything.
Yeah.
They got the classic whiteout, right? In the comics.
Sometimes they're whited out, sometimes they're blacked out, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, normally you can't see any part of his body.
Okay, I did not care for the redesign then.
Okay.
That you can see the eyes. Action set pieces got very Marvel samey and a little wonky. And none of this spoiler. It's all in the trailer. I haven't mentioned anything that wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah.
Except for the haircuts.
That ruins the movie for me.
Sorry. Vibranium. I know we did Daniel's money shots on it.
Tell me how accurate that was.
I didn't enjoy it. Is vibranium literally used for everything in Wakanda?
It's a large part of like where their economy comes from, as far as the story goes. So like, it's used for a lot of stuff because they have the largest deposit of it available in the world.
Yeah. So
that's why it's such a technologically advanced place. Is because of the fact that they have so much of it. It's so valuable.
But do they use it for everything? I mean, literally.
They use it for a lot of stuff in Wakanda, just because they have so much.
It's just like we use steel and everything everywhere.
Okay, well, I guess that's comic book accurate then.
As I haven't read a lot of the stuff on Wakanda, that's just from the little bit that I do know. Now, Daniel's going to know a little bit more about that than I am, obviously. But
so, Daniel, what are your thoughts on vibranium? Are they literally used for everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was amazing, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
I got skills.
Yeah, pretty much. It is a major part of Wakandan culture, like we were talking about on the Money Shot episode. Pretty much everything is used in some capacity, and including the power generation for Wakanda comes from vibranium radiation.
Okay, all right. And you've mentioned this before. The one thing I didn't like was that they really, unless it's comic book accurate, they really overpowered Black Panther. I mean, he's literally nigh indestructible in this movie, and it's during the fight scenes you're like, why there's no stakes.
Yeah, he is a very powerful character. Like, the suit's made of vibranium, which is one of the toughest metals in the Marvel Universe. He has the daggers made of vibranium. The only thing I thought I saw from the trailer was like almost like a nanotech growing thing, and I don't believe that's from the comics. I think that's new to this movie.
Basically, for me, the best analogy for him is he's like the Marvel Batman in a way. He's not like the broody dude, but he's still like the rich martial arts guy with sweet tech stuff. In a sense,
it goes a step beyond that too, because he has not that he doesn't have the money and all the tech or anything. He also, there's a part of the royal Wakandan line. They're born with enhanced reflexes, to an extent.
Yeah, that's basically the T'Challa's bloodline, like we were talking about on the Money Shot episode. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you watch it.
I got it up in due time this time.
Finally, yes. Basically, the radiation from vibranium infects the Wakandan foods, and the Wakandan foods basically impart some superhero powers. So T'Challa's bloodline has some enhanced strength, enhanced stamina, extra agility.
It was just interesting because, like, no spoiler, he's a king of Wakanda. So instead of just some dude putting on a cape and cowl, it also dealt with the repercussions of doing this as a king. So it was dealing with his choices rather than just, I'll hit you over the head with a sink and then throw you in jail.
Yeah, that's typically...
And that's part of the story with Black Panther 2 and some of the comics, as far as the things that I've noticed and things like that, is there's a lot of consequences for his actions for what he does, whether he's...
Yeah. And they like it's... It was just more substance than just a cape and cowl movie. That's what I enjoyed it. I really dug it. I thought it was cool.
That's good, because a lot of things with Black Panther can go either way. Either it gets too bogged down with diplomacy and bureaucracy, and it becomes a really kind of slogfest of a book to read.
Well, there was no trade routes or Phantom Menaces in this.
Okay, good. Yeah, or you go the other way, and it has just enough to make it different. And it sounds like the writers knew what they were doing this time around.
Yeah, whoever wrote it, man, they and the directing was great. Like I said, some of the action pieces got a little samey, your typical Marvel stuff. So, anything else? No.
No, I'm just excited to see it now. It sounds. Then again, it's Adam, so I take it with a grain of salt. But
I was about 50-50 on movies until you start talking about Zack Snyder.
yeah, that's fair. Okay,
Zack
I'll
Snyder
give you
had
that.
nothing to do with this.
Obviously, because it sounds great.
Other than me and Zach saw it, we went together.
Oh, you guys went together?
Yeah.
Right before you went out for dinner, and
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. He's a cool
Sounds
guy.
like a nice romance.
It was very nice.
Valentine's Day.
Speaking of romance,
What?
Valentine's Day just happened.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting there.
We were talking about Valentine's Day
You and Daniel?
just now.
About what?
Move on.
Anyway,
We'll explain it to you when you're older.
You and Snyder having a nice Valentine's Day date.
Please.
no,
He
we
wishes-
saw it Saturday. No Valentine's.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
He won't cheat on his wife. He's a good guy. Do you think we as fans? I was thinking of this during like some of the controversy over this film, The Last Jedi, and comic book movies. Basically, why we do podcasts. Do you think we as fans just destroy films? We spend months and even years developing fan theories, building up expectations on YouTube videos, etc., and we make promises in our own head about the film, and that we end up believing what's going to be in the movie, that the people making the movie never even promised, and then they deliver the film that they were making the whole time, and then we get all pissy about it. Do you think we as fans destroy the film?
I feel like
is Last Jedi really that bad?
the way a lot of people are right now, because of the fact that you can get everything within seconds instead of waiting for things like we used to have to do.
Right.
People are, when they come up with their own ideas in the interim while they're waiting, because they're a lot more impatient than they used to be. In general, I feel like that's probably true with the majority of people. So when you have that extra time, because you're now less patient than you used to be, you come up with your own theories.
Nice.
You come up with your own theories
I got that
about
one.
how things should go. So you build up your expectations, and then you see the movie, it's not what you thought it was going to be, because you built this thing up in your head. So I feel like people kind of do it to themselves, and it's their own fault. So I would agree that maybe people kind of, I don't know if they ruin movies in general, but maybe they ruin it for themselves.
Right. That's
Like,
what I meant.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So do you think The Last Jedi was ruined by the fans themselves, not because it's been what, 2 months? Snoke is dead, or he was killed in the movie.
Spoilers.
It's been 2 months. What's the deadline on that? Surely 2 months.
Yeah, that's probably fine. And don't call me Shirley.
Here we go.
That's 3. That's 3.
But so we got all pissed off. I meant the fandom in general, not us.
Yeah.
We got all pissed off because they had an idea that Snoke was going to be Plagueis, Snoke was going to be Jar Jar Binks, Snoke was going to be this, and then it turned out that he was literally no one. Yeah, oh yeah, they thought
Snoke as Jar Jar would have been sweet. I'm
that
standing
would've
by
been
that
cool.
100%.
Snoke was going to be Mace Windu.
Or Snoke,
That one I
or
could've
Jar
got
Jar was the
behind.
one behind the strings.
Yeah.
Like something, yeah.
But-
That would have been cool. I personally thought the movie was okay. I didn't love it. I know I didn't like it. It was just okay. It was entertaining for a couple of hours to watch the movie, and that was it for me.
I really, really enjoyed Last Jedi. It is up there in probably my first or second favorite Star Wars movies. It goes back and forth with Rogue One for me. I absolutely loved it, and I understand what you're saying because I've been watching a couple videos on that same kind of concept where, yeah, if we didn't have all the fan theories around Last Jedi, would the fans have hated Last Jedi as much as they did? And to me, the sitting back and theorizing what is going to happen in the movies is fun of that. I like watching the trailer and going, hey, did you see this little sliver? That's Captain Marvel. Or, oh, I bet this is how all 3 Star Wars movies are going to plan out and be totally wrong. Like, I have no illusions that I am wrong 9 times out of 10 when I make a guess about what's going to happen in a movie. But that's the fun of trailer season, is watching that and getting that anticipation. And I think people miss that aspect. They get too much in their own head when they come up with an idea and go, oh, what if, Snoke was Rey's dad? And they glom onto the idea, and they psych themselves too much into that idea, and when it's not the case, they go, oh, well, my idea was better. No, it wasn't. No, it was a terrible idea. But you get so wrapped up into your own idea.
I think it was me and you, I think Tuesday of this week, we said fanboys should never write movies.
Yeah.
Whatever they're fanboying over, they should never.
Right, because for a new franchise, you have to have enough of a perspective that if you're a fanboy, you need to be able to step back away from that and still be able to write new and compelling stuff.
Right.
Because if you are crazy into the fandom, you are in your own head too much. You are writing for yourself and not for the sake of the art.
Which is what we felt like happened with Zack Snyder. Because he is a self-professed fanboy of Batman. So do we think that's what happened with the DC universe?
I have no idea how you can watch Batman vs. Superman or Justice League and go, this was written by a Batman fanboy. I don't see that being the case, because they got Batman wrong so terribly wrong.
Maybe that's how he interprets Batman.
Then he's wrong. As a Batman fanboy, I could rewrite those movies and make it Batman and Company in a real quick order. To me, I felt like he's probably too much of a fanboy for the entire DCU, especially, like, if I had to guess, I would have thought that he leans more towards Superman, because it's
really people are saying he hates Superman.
Well, that makes sense too, then, because that movie was fucking terrible also.
I would have thought, watching Batman vs. Superman, like, when you're talking about morality scale, they don't do a very good job of making Batman's argument seem justified.
No,
Batman seems too irrational, in my opinion, to be Batman. So they're making Batman to be the bad guy in the Batman vs. Superman conflict, when ideally you should have an even keel. In Civil War, they try and make Iron Man the bad guy in Civil War, but they're still able to portray both sides as heroic, in my opinion, and not nearly as bad as in the comic books. In the comic books, you had people getting divorced over the comic books. In the movie, Iron Man is still the bad guy, but he's less so. It's less emphasized in that. So when you're trying to do hero versus hero. And I kind of feel the same way with Justice League. When Justice League came out, Batman did nothing right, and Superman...
He threw a batarang at Flash, who he didn't know was Flash.
He knew.
He said he didn't know what his powers were, and then he threw a batarang at him. Even, I love Batman. I'm like, maybe if you don't know his powers, you shouldn't throw a batarang at him.
That may have been the best scene of Batman in the entire thing, and it still wasn't Batman, because you're right. He wouldn't have thrown if he wasn't 100% sure Flash could protect himself.
He was sure he could protect himself. He just wanted to see how he could do it.
That's fair. That could be a fair justification.
Are you a Justice League apologist? I never thought this would happen.
No, we're not in the same camp.
Oh. Are you one camp over though? Are you adjacent?
I liked Justice League better than I liked the rest of that crap.
Yes, I'll take it.
That doesn't mean much.
I'll take it.
But I did like it better.
Justice League probably was the most palpable of the three.
Aside from the Wonder Woman movie.
That one was good.
That one was better, but yeah.
Does it go? Can fans literally ruin movies? Because I think didn't they end up retroactively saying Tom Holland was the little kid from Iron Man 2 because all the fans were demanding it? And then Kevin Feige's like, yeah, whatever.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, basically what it was is a lot of people were like, oh, check this out, this could be Peter Parker, and Kevin, I believe, came out and said, if that's who you want it to be, then it can be.
So
that's
it's
the
not
point.
canon.
Yeah, that's the point of that scene, is
Okay.
that everyone can be a hero. So if you look at that scene and say that's Peter Parker, then that's for you. But he didn't come out and canonically say yes or no.
Okay.
He just said it was left open-ended.
Oh, yeah, and that makes completely no sense, because in Civil War, they obviously had never met each other when Iron Man does the whole Spider-Man scene, so you made your suit yourself and everything.
Well, Iron Man... Well, in Spider-Man, he knows who Tony Stark is. He knows who Iron Man is.
Right, but the other way around. Like, Tony Stark had no idea who this kid was. He would have known if the kid was the same kid.
Would he?
Yes.
That kid,
I don't see Tony Stark remembering that.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
if
and
it
his
was-
scotch and
To be
Goose
honest,
Haze
yeah.
and-
I mean, that kid could have been Tony's, and Tony wouldn't know who that kid was.
Is Tony in the movie? Is he a pill popper, or is he just an alcoholic?
Alcoholic.
So he's not like Viking and throwing Viking down.
No, that's in Ultimates.
Okay.
He's an alcoholic in Ultimates, as well as addicted to painkillers
Okay.
in Ultimates.
Okay. Anything else? No. Cloverfield Paradox. You ever seen it?
Very much enjoyed it.
I did too. I
Not-
watched it because everyone was complaining about it.
Not a Cloverfield movie, but still enjoyed it for what it was.
But okay. Well, the end of the movie had the Cloverfield.
I don't think that's the same monster.
Yeah.
Was it the exact same monster?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It did not connect to the Cloverfield universe where I thought it was going to. And I was a little disappointed where it did connect. But I enjoyed it for a film as itself. I don't know how I feel about it being in the Cloverfield universe.
So here's the timeline deal. Okay, so this is
that's not convoluted.
This is how the movie happened. So in the year 20 whatever the Cloverfield Paradox was, when they set up the, what do they call it, the Shepherd, and they jumped dimensions.
Yeah.
It created a rift which sent the Cloverfield monster into the first movie in 2008, and then it sent the Cloverfield monster into one dimension, and then it sent the Cloverfield monster into 2016 during the 10 Cloverfield Lane dimension.
Oh, so those aren't the same universe?
No, they're different universes.
Oh, I thought they were the same. Okay.
Oh. So, I was getting your guy. Have you seen it?
No, I've seen the first Cloverfield.
What, did you like it? You're very spot on. If you like Event Horizon, I think you'll like Cloverfield.
Yeah,
Paradox.
yeah, exactly. It did feel more Event Horizon to me than Cloverfield, but it was still a good movie.
Did you see it?
I didn't even see the original one.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. They're releasing a fourth one.
Yeah,
Aren't they doing like a TV show about it or something too?
Not yet. They did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was a Hulu exclusive, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, it was in theaters. I saw it in theaters.
Was it in theaters?
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
realize
the
that.
one
Okay.
with John Goodman, right?
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
No, it looked interesting to me, but I never watched it.
See, this seems to be their MO. So they made an original movie, Cloverfield. They bought a movie called Cellar, turned it into a Cloverfield movie. They bought a movie called God Particle, turned it into Cloverfield Paradox. Now they're buying a movie called Overlord, which is the fourth installment, which is set during World War II. On the eve of D-Day, a group of American paratroopers are dropped behind enemy lines to carry out a mission crucial to the invasion's success. But as they approach their target, they begin to realize there is more going on in this Nazi-occupied village than a simple military operation. They find themselves fighting against supernatural forces, part of a Nazi experiment. I'm seeing Hellboy crossover.
That would be awesome.
That will never happen.
No, it won't. No, it would be awesome though.
Especially with that new Hellboy coming out, right?
Yeah, they're working on it. I don't know.
I think it's
coming out.
2019 though. I think.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I very much expected for Cloverfield Paradox. If you remember, the after credit scene in Cloverfield is a scene of the Ferris wheel, and you see the splashdown
Oh
in the
no,
back.
there's an after credit scene.
Yeah, in the original
man.
Cloverfield. It's very.
Oh, in the original Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the original Cloverfield, there's a Ferris wheel with the main characters,
Yeah.
and there's a splashdown in the back.
Right.
I very much thought during the entire Cloverfield Paradox that
That's how it was going to end.
that splashdown was going to be the escape pod, and the experimentation was
But
them
you-
bringing the monster,
but
like
you-
seeding the monster or whatever.
But you knew what year the original Cloverfield took place, and they told you that the Cloverfield Paradox took place in 20 whatever.
It's been so long since I watched Cloverfield. I never would have picked up that continuity error if
okay.
that had happened. It's been so long since I've seen Cloverfield.
So you're not digging we can literally do whatever we want with this series.
It's okay. when you label a movie something like Cloverfield, I want to see the Cloverfield monster. You know, I went into that movie expecting monster movie, and I got Event Horizon, which I wasn't disappointed in. Like, when I saw Cloverfield Lane, I wanted to see a Cloverfield movie, and I got Panic Room, which is fine if you advertise it to me more as Panic Room, and legitimately they did. But to me, I feel like the reveal of the Cloverfield monster could be better if you didn't put it in the title.
Oh.
Like if you didn't change the name, kept it Cellar and God Particle, and then had the Cloverfield monster at the very end of God Particle, and this is part of the Cloverfield universe.
So like,
I think it would have been better.
Like M. Night Shyamalan did with Split.
Haven't seen Split yet.
Okay, you want me to spoil it?
Go for it. Yeah.
At the end of Split, you know what the movie's about?
A guy with like 20 some personalities, and he takes someone hostage.
A serial killer. So at the end of Split, it pulls out, and so you see a news report, and then it pulls out to be on a TV. You're reading a news report of a serial killer being caught, multiple personalities, whatever. Pulls out some more, and you're like in an old diner, and the old veteran waitress is like, "Have you ever seen anything like this before? Or have you guys ever heard anything like this?" And it pans over, and it's Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable, and he's like, "Yes, I have."
That's awesome. So, now that I know that Split is in the Unbreakable universe, I'm going to go watch Split because I loved Unbreakable.
Yes.
Unbreakable was a phenomenal movie.
Just that line, "The kids call me Mr. Glass."
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, and then they got the sequel called Glass coming out. I think it's next year.
Possibly.
It's either later this year or next year, early next year. I'm very excited to see more of that universe.
I put this on here not knowing if you liked it. It just seemed like something you'd like since you watched Vampire Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
CW is reviving the sci-fi series Roswell.
Interesting. Okay.
Well.
I didn't see the original Roswell, but
you seem like something you'd like.
Yeah, it's on my list. There's too much good television to fit everything in.
The basic synopsis was like it was about a bunch of teenage kids that were actually human alien hybrids, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They all had special abilities,
and they all were good looking.
It was a CW show. They always are.
Yeah. Actually, if they're going to revitalize a CW or a sci-fi show, the one I want them to revitalize is Jericho. Jericho was really good. I really enjoyed that.
All right. Brian Michael Bendis is writing a Kitty Pryde movie for Fox, currently titled 143.
Good.
Doesn't he have all the Fox stuff now?
Yeah.
Didn't they buy everything but Fox News or whatever?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Disney does. Yeah.
They sold everything. Yeah, they sold all their entertainment stuff.
Yeah, so Disney's making a Kitty Pryde movie? Is that what I heard?
Oh no. Well, yeah, Kitty Pryde. Yeah.
You said it was 143.
Yeah, it's based on the Uncanny X-Men issue 143, which was a personal story about Sprite going from a scared, weakest link to a confident survivor who bested a demon of her own.
I was actually just looking up the issue number because 143 I thought was a significant issue for Shadowcat.
Tim Miller is attached to direct.
Interesting.
And he just did Deadpool. So.
My only concern with Brian Michael Bendis doing...
I knew this was coming because everyone hates Bendis.
I actually really like Bendis.
I like his crime stuff.
I think Bendis can do a good job. I think the issue is Bendis does not write great action sequences in comics. Like, he does okay, but most of the time he has a couple really cool panels of stuff going on, and the main storyline is happening somewhere near it. And he does not write really compelling action sequences. So that is my only concern with the movie. I like Bendis. I think he can do X-Men right. He did Ultimates very, very well when he was dealing with the Ultimate storylines. But I'm worried about the action sequences in that movie.
Is he the one that wrote Blob eating Wasp or whatever?
Thankfully, no. I don't believe so. He did not touch Ultimate 3, which Ultimate 3 was... It doesn't exist.
Okay.
That book is absolutely terrible. Ultimate stops at Ultimatum, and anything after that you can just stop reading.
Okay. Moving on to birthdays. Anyone have any news before I move on to birthdays?
Oh.
No, I don't think I've heard anything new.
Okay. Born today, John Travolta.
Okay.
Yep.
Fact.
Fact. Molly Ringwald,
Truth.
which I think is sexier now than when she was in her movies.
That's fair, actually.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
give
she's
you that
very
one.
sexy. Vanna White. Yeah, okay. Jack Palance.
When you said it, you didn't like. When you said Vanna White's name, you didn't go and do the hand thing in front of your laptop. There you go. Okay, appreciate it.
Everyone's favorite musician girlfriend, Yoko Ono,
Hey.
and stuntman for Breaking Bad, Steve Stafford.
Who's he stuntman for?
He didn't look like any of the actors. He's probably just general stunts.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyone's birthday? They want to continue? No.
No, all the birthdays next week, but
Okay.
nothing this week.
Okay. So, we'll get on to tonight's topic. With Valentine's Day now 4 days gone, we're gonna do romantic flicks, rom-coms, romedies.
Yes, I'm in.
Uh,
Anytime you make two words one word, I'm always
Romedies,
excited.
tragic romance, horror-ance, or romar.
I like
Rawr.
I like Romar
Okay.
a little bit better, just because I want to hear Adam say that more.
What about this one? What about this one? Sci-fi-ance? No. No. Well, how would you do that one though?
No, that's gonna be Ro-Fi.
Oh, god damn. That was really good. Fair enough. Okay. With February being most associated with Valentine's Day, Black History Month, President's Day, etc., but most associated. Take a guess how many romantic flicks are in the top 10 of all-time highest opening weekend. This is from Box Office Mojo.
I'm gonna say 1.
How many what?
How many romantic films are in the all-time highest opening weekend box office?
2.
2? 1, 2.
I don't think it's anything above 2, so I'm going to go with 0.
We've got 1, 2.
Don't count them. Tell us the titles.
Okay.
Because Titanic's one of them.
Incorrect.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That surprises me.
Okay, we'll go with number 10. All-time February. This is just February. That's why Titanic didn't count. Because
You
You
said
said
all-time
all-time, period.
You
Yeah.
said all-time romantic
with
movies.
February, yeah, in
Not
February.
all-time romantic movies in February.
Yeah, in February.
Oh, jeez.
I thought he said top 10
All time.
romantic movies.
That's
Uh,
that's my next.
because
top
he
10 movies.
did.
That's
Top 10 movies, like a list of the top 10 movies, period, that have made money. How many of those were romantic films?
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's how that was worded.
No,
Learn English.
Y'all didn't listen.
You didn't speak.
Oh, okay. Let us know in the comments.
all right,
So how
We got
many?
3 wrong
how many
gentlemen
movies?
here.
How many romantic movies
In the
in
month of February.
Which was not part of the damn question.
Yes, it was.
No.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
All right, let's start this again. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So you have a list of the top 10 romantic movies,
No,
and
no.
how many of them are in February? No.
I got the
Top 10
highest.
February movies. How many of them are romance?
There you go.
Okay, top 10 February movies. How many of them are romance?
Yes.
I'm going to go with 3.
6.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
Don't you put numbers in my brain?
Okay.
You see,
5.
5.
You shout
Okay.
out too many numbers at Cody, he gets confused.
Okay.
It's
So
not my fault.
The
Get up my
films
head a
are
lot.
number 10, Ghost Rider.
not a romantic.
Not a
movie.
romantic comedy with 45,000.
Okay.
45 million.
Okay.
Number 9, 50 Shades Darker with 46 million.
Technically a romantic movie, but that's more about not.
So we're not
quite
counting it?
romantic.
Are we counting?
It
It-
would,
it
but
counts.
it
Okay.
shouldn't because it's a wrong movie.
So
Yeah,
no-
yeah, it's more about
it's-
rape than anything.
So
Yeah.
number 8, the Lego Batman movie with 53 million.
Obviously, a romance movie. That Batman loves himself so much.
No,
And he finds love.
number 7,
Haven't seen it yet.
the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water with 55 million.
No.
Number 6, Valentine's Day with 56 million. That's 2.
That counts, yeah.
Number 5, Hannibal, 58 million.
That guy loves to eat people.
No,
That counts. Romance.
number 4, the Lego movie with 69 million. This could be a romantic comedy. Number 3, The Passion of the Christ with 83 million.
How is that a romantic comedy?
It's Jesus' love, man.
There's no comedy there.
I mean,
It's just an hour and a half of a guy getting beat to death. How is that like comedy? Well, I mean, okay.
tit for tat. Number 2,
I mean, you just described half Adam Sandler in
That's
this too.
fair.
I mean,
That's fair.
number 2, 50 Shades of Grey with 85 million.
oh, look at that. He's on 3.
And number 1, any guess? Number 1, all-time February highest-grossing flicks.
Panther.
Nope.
No, I don't know. Probably too early for that one.
Pass.
It's in our wheelhouse. It's in all of our wheelhouses. I hate this character. It's Deadpool.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's right, because you hate good things.
With 132 million.
So there we go. 3.5.
So
No, that's 4.
Deadpool counts.
Deadpool's a half.
Deadpool counts.
Well, there is-
Deadpool only gets a half because he says it's a romantic movie in the movie.
plus any movie with pegging in it is a win. For me.
This guy, yes.
So out of the top 10, 2 of them are 50 Shades. Any guess on where the newest 50 Shades fell?
Hopefully,
Is-
they're
What?
up.
There's a
Wait.
third?
Well, there's 3 books, but I thought the second one just came out.
No, the third. I thought
Third
the third
one just came out.
Third one just came out?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I haven't seen any of them yet.
Hopefully, it fell into a fire and it's
It
over with.
fell at number 19 with 38 million.
All right, what's number 11 and 12?
I don't know. I only did 10.
Well, you have
knew what
19.
you knew what number 19 was.
I specifically looked that up.
Specifically,
Specific. Don't make me speak English. Okay.
Adam Atlantically picked it out.
Highest. Now listen. Highest grossing romantic movies of all time. The top 5.
all right.
Titanic's one of them.
Okay.
Titanic. When Harry Met Sally. Top romantic movie, like Casablanca, maybe.
Well, converted to nowadays.
Gone with the Wind?
Gone with the Wind. And
Notebook.
Oh, The Notebook.
Okay.
Good call. Yep.
Highest grossing romantic movies of all time, according to Box Office Mojo. Number 5, Jerry Maguire with 153 million.
Jerry Maguire's a romance?
Yeah, you had me at hello and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Show
Forgot about
me
that
the
one.
money.
Yeah, isn't that the one where he's... Oh, no, that's Risky Business. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
really. You fucked up.
Number 4, 50 Shades of Grey with 166 million.
That's not fair because that's today's standards. They're not factoring in how much the money would make in today's market.
Now this one,
I mean, we can speculate if you want.
this one, I did not believe it was a romantic movie, but I cross-checked it with 3 other references. Pearl Harbor with 198 million.
I can't... There's a strong romantic overtones to that movie.
I'll give
That's
it.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give
that's...
it to you. That's fine.
I would not call it... Like, if I was looking for a romantic movie, I wouldn't
It's
grab
not a
Pearl
primary
Harbor.
If I was
romance.
looking for a movie in general, I'm probably not grabbing Pearl Harbor.
Hey, now, Pearl Harbor was good.
It was fine. It was
I
fine,
liked-
but it's not a movie I'm going to go, ooh, I want to watch that again. It was. I'm over
That's
it.
fair. If I'm going to watch World War II, I'm going to watch Memphis Belle.
If I'm going to watch World War II, I'm watching Enemy at the Gates.
If I'm going to watch World War II, I'm watching The Longest Day.
I don't like war movies.
Get out.
Hellboy. I'd watch Hellboy.
Close enough. All right, moving on.
Okay. Or Sucker Punch. They got World War II.
It's got some...
I like make-believe violence. I don't like real-life violence brought upon people.
Okay.
Remember that when I punch you later.
Number 2, Ghost with 217
forgot
million.
about that one.
Ghost is a classic.
Oh, I just want to
And-
go mold things out of clay now.
And number 1, Titanic with $659 million.
All right, Titanic. Yeah,
Yep,
I
that-
knew Titanic was on there.
We
I'm
had
surprised,
we
like-
had a weird awkward pause there for him.
I'm really surprised.
Yeah, sorry.
That,
I misread a social cue. I apologize. If you weren't paying attention, I thought Cody was like wiping his nose on his sleeve,
No,
and
no,
so I thought
my
he
nose-
needed a napkin or a Kleenex or something. So I just handed him one.
He was getting the last bits of cocaine off of his sleeve.
No,
Well,
No,
that's
it's-
not where he snorted the
Oh, okay.
cocaine from.
Oh, okay.
That's-
no, my nose is itchy. I was using my sleeve this time.
Fair enough. Okay, so that awkward pregnant pause was a missed social cue on my part. All right.
Okay, so the romance film are defined as romantic love stories that focus on passion, emotion, and the affectionate romantic involvement of the main characters and the journey that they genuinely strong, true, and pure romantic love that takes them through dating, courtship, and marriage. That was tedious. Examples would be Four Weddings and a Funeral, Love Actually, Moonstruck, As Good as It Gets, When Harry Met Sally. So move on to the subgenres. historical romance. Any guesses?
Pearl Harbor, because apparently that counts.
Apparently.
Yeah.
The color of the feather, color of the wind. That one. What the hell's the name of that one?
I don't know.
It's a World War One, like Civil War romance movie.
They got
Four Feathers, something like that.
They got Gone with the Wind, Dr. Zhivago, and Titanic.
Gettysburg.
Really, romance in that?
No.
No, the one I'm talking about is, yeah.
No.
Oh,
Well. All right.
Okay.
No qualifier there.
I just listening off things pop in my head.
Legend of the Fall. That's
There,
it.
okay.
Legend of the Fall. That's the one.
Brad-
That's the
Brad
one I'm
Pitt.
looking for.
Oh god,
Brad
I
Pitt.
forgot about Legend of the Falls.
long hair. I give that Interview with the Vampire -2. He does not have good hair. I don't like him with long hair.
Oh god, this is a thing, isn't it?
I love it. I love this thing.
It's
whatever.
funny, but oh man. All right.
All right, next subgenre, romantic drama, usually revolves around an obstacle which prevents deep and true romantic love between two people. They have Bridges of Madison County, The English Patient, and Casablanca.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Chick flick. They have a romantic flick targeted at a female audience. Seemed obvious, but
Sure.
any guesses?
Bridesmaids.
Okay.
And my
That's not-
my best friend's wedding.
27
Best friend's
dresses.
wedding, 27 dresses
Are you
while
a
you were
Katherine
sleeping,
Heigl
all
lover?
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, I just
Oh, I
know
forgot about While
the
You
name
Were
of that
Sleeping.
because I
That
own
That
the
movie
DVD
wasn't
for
bad.
some
Yeah, that one
reason.
wasn't bad.
Sure, for some reason.
Miscongeniality would be. That's more of the romantic comedy section than chick flick, I guess.
They give out Dirty Dancing, The
All right.
Notebook, A Walk to Remember, and Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, first of all, Dirty Dancing is not a chick flick.
Really?
We'll fight.
Can I lift you over my head?
As long as you don't put me in a corner.
Damn it! I was gonna say.
The time of my life.
Oh god. Oh
Uh,
god.
Then next subgenre is rom-coms, flicks with lighthearted, humorous plot lines centered on romantic ideals such as that true love is able to conquer all. Any examples from you guys?
Only the ones I've written down for our section later.
Oh, okay.
Same.
They give.
I don't want you to.
If you
I
ruin
swear
any
to
of
God,
mine,
you say any of the ones. Say
Okay.
all three of the ones I
They-
did.
they
I'm
give-
gonna have nothing to talk about.
They give Something's Gotta Give. It Happened One Night in Annie Hall.
safe.
Okay.
Good.
I was gonna put Annie Hall down, and I didn't. I'm glad I didn't.
This, for some reason, Daniel, I mean nothing personal about it.
Uh-oh.
I think this is right on your wheelhouse. I don't know why. I just pictured you in my head when I saw this subgenre.
Porn?
No.
Comedy musicals.
Hey, I am a lover of musicals, so let's put
Is
that
that where
out
we're at?
there.
Did I nail it?
No.
Oh, boo.
Romantic fantasies. Fantasy stories using many elements and
Sounds like
conventions of.
You were right. Nailed it.
So, they give.
Princess Bride.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one.
I'm
That's
in.
one.
Okay.
The Twilight series, which you liked or you liked?
I like.
Maybe that's why.
I enjoyed the first one and the last one.
Well,
I didn't like any of the movies, but the books I enjoyed.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Fair.
Because I was picturing you with your shirt off and glowing.
Well,
He wouldn't be the. He'd be the werewolf. Let's be real here. He'd be a werewolf.
I mean, you should.
Which
You-
which team was that? Team Edward?
That's Jacob. Jacob's the
Oh,
werewolf.
Team Jacob. Okay.
Yeah.
The one that they commercialized so much, even though the final book came out before the third movie came out, and so anybody.
That's pretty normal. That the movies come
Yeah,
out
but
after the books.
What I'm saying is,
Got him.
I'm
just
glad
how
it's
they
you this
commercialize
time.
it.
Special.
It's just how they commercialize. Oh, which one should she be with? Team Jacob, Team Edward, and it's been like 2 years. I don't.
People don't read books,
I know.
That's
it makes
the
me
problem.
sad.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
so they
Were
can
you a
do
fan
that.
of the books?
I read the books. That's just because I've read everything. Not literally read everything.
You must know so much.
I know a lot of useless stuff.
Still a lot of stuff, right?
I guess. If I
Mission
ever get
accomplished.
trapped in Narnia, I'm safe.
There you go.
They're remaking that too.
Narnia?
Yeah, they're not.
Again?
They're not starting with the first book though. They're starting with the fourth book.
So they're
Yeah.
doing a fourth movie.
No. They're redoing. They're
rebooting the whole
series,
thing.
but they're not starting with the first book. The first book isn't the wardrobe book. It's
Is it
The Magician's Nephew.
yeah. They're not doing that one. They're doing the fourth one. What's that one?
Magician's Nephew, Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe, A Horse and His Boy,
Is it
and then Prince Caspian.
Okay.
Yeah.
They also have romantic fantasies. They also have Ghost
okay?
and a movie I loved as a kid, City of Angels. Because I literally watched
Ooh.
everything with Nick Cage.
Is that
Yes.
Nick Cage?
I did not watch the.
I could not stand that damn song. Talk about bad hair. The lead singer of Goo Goo Dolls, parted down the middle, spiked up in the back, bad hair. I'm not even giving.
You have to rate it.
Yeah, there has to be a rating for it.
Pauly Shore -10.
I will give it. I will give it. Who's David Letterman's sidekick?
Oh God, Paul Schaefer.
I'll give it a Paul Schaefer -7.
Ooh,
That's pretty rough.
That's how bad I hate that haircut.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Another good romantic fantasy movie, because you're right, this is kind of up my wheelhouse, is Lady Hawk. That one is pretty
What's
good.
that about?
Is about a guy who turns to a wolf at night,
Okay.
and his wife.
Which they usually do.
Got
him.
His
No,
wife
okay.
turns into a hawk during the day,
Okay.
and hawks and wolves mate for life. So they are perpetually unable to
Now,
be
wait a
together.
minute.
because
How
of
does a
mas-
wolf and a hawk mate?
Well, no, because wolves mate with wolves and they only have one partner, and hawks mate with hawks with only one partner. So him and his wife are cursed. He turns into a wolf at night. She turns into a hawk during the day, so they can never be together.
How'd they get together in the first place?
They
It
were
was
together.
before the
They got
curse.
cursed and got.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Follow it now.
When was this movie made?
It's an 80s.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Who stars
it's,
I gotta look
there's
this
no
up.
one important. I
gotta
don't
look
think.
this up.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, but basically, it's one of the in that same era that Beastmaster came out, and the Conan the Barbarian films, and that kind of cinematic style. If you're familiar with Willow, it has similar.
Is it HAWKE or is it no?
Yeah. Lady Hawk, one
Oh
word
man,
with an E at the end.
this actually has named stars in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I just remember really, really liking it.
It has. Wait a minute, if this is the right movie. Philip Gaston, a thief, escaped from the dungeon. He's nearly captured. Hang on. Came out in '85. Is this the right plot?
Sounds right.
As placed on the yeah. Okay, so it's got Matthew Broderick in it. It's got Rooker Hauer in it, and the lady. Is. Oh, the lady's Michelle Pfeiffer.
What?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So if you like fantasy and romance, that's
Holy crap!
it's
It's got Alfred Molina in it too. This has got a lot of named stars in it.
Are you real mad that you've never seen this before now? Like you
Kinda.
sound so upset with yourself.
A little bit. A little bit. Man.
It's a hell of a film to watch with your lady friend.
All right. Romshin comedies. No, that ain't right. Action.
Oh, action comedies.
Yeah.
Romantic action comedy. There's your miscongeniality.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like 17 genres in one to finally get me that. But yeah.
That is, yeah.
They've got Killers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl flick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Night and Day. A Katherine Heigl flick. Oh no, maybe that was Cameron Diaz. No, that was Katherine Heigl.
Night and Day?
That was
That was Cameron Diaz, Tom Cruise.
That was Cameron Diaz.
Yep.
Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise.
And then Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I can
okay.
see Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
Smith being
I
on the
felt
list.
like that was a downfall. That's Brad Pitt hair. That's just shade. That's just a buzz cut. That's like even kill zero. Just buzz.
Just-
Nothing fancy.
So that's just Brad Pitt 0?
Because it's a little bit longer than Fight Club after he shaves his hair in Fight Club. So I give it a Fight Club -2.
Okay.
That one.
All right.
But that was like at the beginning of that was kind of at the beginning of Angelina when she wasn't attractive anymore. 'Cause
She went downhill.
Yeah. Romantic thriller. This is the last subgenre. Romantic thriller. It blends the conventions of thriller and romance. They have The Adjustment Bureau. That was Matt Damon. That was a Philip K. Dick adaptation.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
The Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. All right.
Okay, sorry. And Wicker Park. Joshua Hartnett.
I'm not familiar with Booker Park.
Yep.
Okay, so
Play Misty for me.
that's a horror flick, isn't
Oh,
it?
it's sort of thriller. Thriller and horror can go hand in hand sometimes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that line does get blurred.
Fair enough. I'll buy that. As long as, because you cross the line into straight slasher if you've got like exploitive scenes in it, and I don't think Play It for Missy didn't really have any of that. So okay, all right, I'll give it to you. I like that. Good pull, by the way. That's awesome. Clint Eastwood's first directorial debut, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
What does it take to write one? We're gonna sit down and I've actually written two.
One attractive woman, one attractive man,
Does it
and a
have to
reason
be-
they can't be together.
Does it have to be attractive?
Have you seen one that wasn't?
Wait, no. There's some out there where that's the plot of it. She's less than she's not the perfect girl, but she still finds love.
Like Shallow Hal. There's a Shallow Hal. Like that's a romantic comedy kind of too.
Okay,
Yeah, that kinda
shallow
flips
hell,
it,
I
yeah.
guess, yeah.
What's that?
But
other
I mean,
one?
even when they take like the girls and try and make them into ugly ducklings, that
Well, I was talking
that
about Jack
you-
Black just not being attractive.
Hey, he's good looking.
Was that Jack Black in that film?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really? I don't know why, but I thought it was someone else. Anyway,
The longer Jack Black's hair is, the sexier he looks.
I hate it.
Yeah. He was in Biodome too, by the way.
Was he?
Yep. Tenacious D was. You remember the scene where they're Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin are locked up in the Biodome, and their girlfriends are on campus and they're getting the massage and back rubs, and they turn around. That's Jack Black giving one of the girls the back rub, and then when they turn around, it's the KG giving.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm not the. You're not the only one with useless information. I've read a few books, or looked at the pictures anyway.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So you take the Playgirl just doesn't do it for me anymore.
He just keeps doing it before I can.
I
Take all the fun out of it,
I might as
Adam.
well just beat you to the punch. So you take the idea of the ugly duckling, right?
Oh yeah, that's where I was going with. Like I'm even when you have like they try and make them into the ugly duckling girls, they're always like really really attractive women.
Even in the
general.
ugly duckling stage.
Yeah, even at that stage, it's like
Oh no, she has glasses. It's like that Not Another Teen Movie thing.
Yeah.
Like
Ew, she's got glasses and overalls. She's disgusting.
You don't do their hair, give them glasses and something without cleavage, and suddenly they're ugly. No, I'd still hit that in high school.
And then it's the common trope, just dress her up better, and then, oh my god, she's hot.
Oh yeah. You need to
she's,
show your boobs, and you need makeup, and here's contacts because you can't be sexy with glasses.
This is kind of, as three of us are. Do you have glasses?
No, I don't.
No, he's the only sexy one here,
yeah,
apparently,
true.
according to Hollywood.
Now wait a minute.
And the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, they call that movie ugly. Okay, I was watching on Netflix. I'm sure all of us here have seen Escape from New York. Or no, Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is that the one with the basketball? The where he's like has to dribble back and forth and he has to sing somebody back. Or is that L.A.?
That's that might be L.A.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but there's a scene in it where he takes his shirt off because he's boxing, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, he's a pretty in shape dude. He was probably mid to late 40s in that, maybe early 50s. He's really in shape. But if you take him out and Photoshop him next to like what the superheroes in modern day movies like, he'd be considered an ugly, fat, out of shape man. But I mean, because you take Cap, and you take Henry Cavill. I don't know why I just say Chris Evans and Henry Cavill, and all these guys who do these shirtless scenes in these movies, and they're all roided up because that's what we think in shape is nowadays. And then you take Snake Plissken back in the 80s, who I think any of us here would die to be in shape like this guy. And he would be considered out of shape and slobby. I just thought that was funny because like that's what a in shape man looked like in the 80s, compared to what are we calling these now, the tens decade or whatever. You have to be like roided up and washboard stomach, and you have to be able to hold a helicopter and the landing
11 pack abs.
at the same time.
11 packs. Yeah.
I just thought that was. I bring it back because like you take the movie Ugly, and it's like that's what normal people look. That's what gorgeous normal people look like.
Yeah, like that's what I thought about. Like all the people bitching about Kylo Ren's shirtless scene in Last Jedi.
He
like,
did have an odd body though.
It's because of where his pants sat. Like his
guess.
pants were up over like his stomach.
You didn't think he was wide?
Not really. No, I looked at Kylo and went, I would look like that if I could. Like that's not terrible, but he's just not model 100% muscle rock star hot. Like I don't.
Everything I heard about it, they were calling him Ben Swolo because he looked good.
Yeah, like
so.
he had muscles, but he didn't have an 8-pack or anything.
It kind of made sense the way he looked, because if he was the what would you call him, the second-hand man of the New Order, he wouldn't really have. He would be out doing stuff. He wouldn't really have time to hit the gym.
Yeah, he looked like those. Like, if you think of your strong dad, that's kind of what he reminded me of. Like, he had the muscles, but he didn't have, like, the super like, crazy definition.
Like, back in college, he was a jock, so he was in the gym, and now he's got, like, 3 kids, and he's got a physical labor job, but he doesn't really go to the gym anymore. So he still has the muscle memory, and he's still active, but he doesn't go to the gym, so he's got that, where he's not out of shape, but the few beers he drinks on the weekends kind of.
Yeah, my one grandfather was like that, like physical jobs all his entire life, and strongest man ever.
Right.
But he did not have ripped muscles. He didn't have that went to the gym.
Could he hold a helicopter and a landing pad at the same time?
I saw him pick up a piano on one side and shove it into a place we were moving into and bowl over my dad and my uncle, who are both bigger than me. Damn. Like just like, okay, you guys get on that side, and he picked up this grand piano and just and bowled him over because they couldn't keep up.
Farmer?
Fisherman.
Oh, fisherman.
Yeah, commercial fisherman.
Okay, so we take the ugly duckling, male or female. Has it ever been done with the male ugly?
Yes. Beauty and the Nerd.
I haven't seen it.
It's an ABC movie, I think.
Okay.
But
it's been done.
Oh yeah, Beauty
and
the Beast.
What'd they do to ugly him up? The Beauty and the Nerd. Yeah. Okay.
Cody doing the physical comedy.
So yeah, it's great for a podcast.
So the glasses, pocket protector,
maybe you're just not
over.
describing me well enough.
Oh, fair enough. So what do you do to be sexy? You just kind of sit upright, and all of a sudden he had six-pack abs?
I think it was like he stopped. They like gave him better clothes, slicked back his hair, took his glasses off. I can't really see that well. No, that's fine. You look better that way. And basically,
I think I've seen that. That sounds familiar. Like, was that on TGIF?
No, I think it was an ABC Family movie.
Yeah. Oh, ABC Family. So maybe I haven't seen it. Okay, so you got the ugly duckling. Then there's always like a dance, or a car wash, or.
Yep, and she looks freaking smoking because they gave her cleavage and put makeup on her.
Or a talent show.
Talent show, yeah.
Would Ladybugs be considered a rom-com?
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's
the soccer movie.
Yeah, with Rodney Dangerfield, where Rodney's kid dresses up as a girl because he's a coach of a bunch of girls. So his boy dresses up as a girl because his boy's an excellent soccer player. Dresses up as a girl on the team, and then they lead the team to victory. But the boy ends up falling in love with one of the players. No, is that just more of a comedy?
It's more of just a family comedy, I think. Like it's got it's kids, so it's not like full romantic stuff. So I think it's more of a family.
Well,
comedy.
there was a deleted scene with the hardcore.
Oh Jesus!
I feel like that.
I drifted off there.
I really feel like that plot falters in some place, like the group shower scenes.
Well, no, it's not that kind of. It's not a high school team. It's just kind of you go to the field on the weekend type of. It's not a high school. There's no. But there is a scene similar to that because they all go to the captain's house. The lady, they all go there, and she gets invited, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you get in the hot tub?" And the dude's trying to figure out how to get in the hot tub without being caught, but he just freaks out and runs away. So it's a similar scene.
Fair.
And then, okay, so the Ugly Duckling, the event, and then there's usually a scene where whatever scheme is going on, it gets caught, and then there's a breakup scene.
Yeah, there's a breakup. There's some tragic. Oh, you lied to me this entire time. No, I really love you.
It started out as a bet.
It was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you've just described 98% of romantic comedies that are all bad.
Oh, you know what? You know one that I really liked in high school. Oh shit. It had Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. It had the dude from Empire Records in it. Shit. It had a great soundtrack. It had Seth Green in it.
Seth Green is in a lot of stuff.
Taming the Shrew?
No. Continue talking about the next. Talk about an adult. We're talking about teenage rom-coms. Let's talk about an adult rom-com. While I look this up.
Well, one of my favorites, and that's actually on my list for...
Can't Hardly Wait. Sorry.
Okay, so I guess we can't hardly wait for the next one.
All right.
Sorry. Anyway, I like that one a lot.
Can't Hardly... I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen that one? Great soundtrack. It's got Blink-182's Damn in it. It's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anyway, adult rom-com, sorry. Or adult romance, whatever. Let's move to the adult side of it.
Yeah. So one of the ones I have written down is probably one of my favorite actual rom-coms, and it's The Ugly Truth. And I think that one's Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about this before.
Yeah,
Is that
that's... Oh, go ahead.
Which one's that one?
That's
that is
the
one...
dildo in the underwear?
It's a vibrating panties.
Oh, right.
But yeah. Okay. It's Katherine Heigl plays a newscaster, and Gerard Butler, I believe, is the weatherman at the station. And she is really prim and proper, and he is kind of dirty and crass. And they get teamed together to do some story, and they end up falling in love. And she teaches him to be a little less crude, and he teaches her to be a little more relaxed.
So
yeah.
opposite. So the opposites
attract thing.
Opposite attract.
Yeah. It's the opposites attract trope with a little bit of the ugly duckling because they both improve each other.
What about what's the one with Gerard Butler? Is it Katherine Heigl again? I think it is Katherine Heigl again, where he gets cancer and dies.
Oh, that's P.S. I Love You.
Yeah,
and
is that Heigl?
That's not Heigl. That's someone else.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's not Heigl.
But okay, so the trope of one of your loved ones, Hilary Swank. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah. So I now P.S. I Love You, I think, is a really, really unique romantic film. I think, like, yeah, that one kind of plays on some tropes, but the base concept where your loved one is dead and going through the romance with him as a ghost, effectively, not like a real ghost, but like as someone who has passed on,
like using the memories.
Yeah, I think that was a really good job. I really, really enjoyed P.S. I Love You. And I really like the opening, too. Like, right before he dies, if you haven't seen it, this is the first 5 minutes. But they do all of the stereotypical, oh, they're so in love scenes. And then it actually shows a couple fights where they don't get along. And that is never shown. And I really appreciated that they show that these two have this such important and passionate and perfect relationship, but even the perfect relationships have problems.
Right. Okay. So before we move on to listing some of our favorites, what are some of the keynotes you have to hit in any romantic comedy or any romance?
Any romantic tale, period.
Right.
Okay. Well, I think the key is
love. I guess is one.
Yeah, you have to have two people falling in love, and you have to have an obstacle for them to overcome.
There has to be some sort of I lost it.
Here it is, right here.
There has to be some sort of connection between the two people to make it believable, too. That's a key thing you have to have.
What if you're forced into a situation and you end up learning to love them? Like a one-night stand, you knock the chick up.
So knocked up.
Is that? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's Seth Rogen and
All right. Well, I wrote two. When I was.
As we're going through, we all had homework to do, so we've got our stuff written down, and we're just as we're going through the movie, we're just crossing out ones as we go to the homework section.
When I was married, I made a couple movies. I didn't really have an idea, so my ex. Yeah, no. I made some actual movies. I didn't really know. I had like writer's blocks. I want to do another one. My ex-wife said, "Well, why don't you write a movie of something that you don't really care for?" So I tried my hand at romance. Take a guess how it turned out.
It was great.
I bet you got all sorts of loving after it was done.
No. So my movie.
No. So here's the story.
So here's how the script went. It was about an electrician and his wife. Okay, it starts out with them newlyweds moving into the house. The opening credit scene was kind of a montage of an empty house, and then montage of the house filling up. They're happy, they're lovey, or whatever. And then the main part of the movie is, so they're a loving couple. He's got a great job. They've got a family friend that just kind of hangs out. He's a single dude. He doesn't want love. He just bangs them and leaves them type of guy. But he's always coming over and they're drinking beer and just having fun. So the movie kicks in. That's kind of like the opening part of the movie. The movie kicks in with the couple decides to have a kid. So they try for a while. They can't have it. They go to the doctors, and it turns out that the wife has no problem having a kid, but the guy just
He's
can't.
infertile.
He can't. So that kind of bums them out. And so anyway, but the marriage is still together. They're like, well, we'll figure something out. And then, it starts turning. I'm writing it, so it starts turning tragic. That the family friend is starting to come over to the house more and more without the husband there, and the wife miraculously becomes pregnant, and the husband and wife are both really happy, but he starts getting the seed planted in his head that it's not his, even though there's no evidence of this. He's just got this seed planted in his head, and then when the baby's born, and he can't drop the idea that the kid isn't his. So he starts accusing the wife of cheating, and she's like, it never happened. So the marriage starts getting rough. The friendship starts getting rough. She leaves him, separates him, takes the kid, separates, and he starts spiraling. And then the climax of the movie is he freaks out, goes over to the mother-in-law's house where the wife and the kid stand, kidnaps the kid, takes it back to the house, and kills the friend because he's still convinced that this is, you cheated with my wife. This is your kid. And he's like, no, it's not. It's genuinely your kid. And so the climax of the movie is that the friend's dead. He's kidnapped a baby. The wife comes barreling back into the house, and the husband is on the ground on his knees crying with the gun next to him saying, I'm really sorry, and thinking that the baby was killed. And then so she picks the gun up thinking that the baby's dead, and points it at the husband, and right before she fires, she hears the baby cry. And then so the husband's shot, and as he's dying, he pictures this beautiful like prairie, just like one tree in the middle of a prairie. The sun is shining, and he's sitting down next to the tree with his wife between his legs and the baby between their legs, just really happy, just picturesque scene. And he smiles, and then his dead body hits the ground.
I thought you said this was a romance.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I would watch that too, and it is a romance. It's just really dark.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Just because it's a romance doesn't mean it has to make you feel good. There's a difference.
I know, but when I think of romance, I want to be happy. I don't want bad.
Well, there's happy in the beginning. But so anyway, my ex-wife was watching American Horror Story. What was the one after Asylum? Coven? She was watching that at the time, so I very boringly named the movie An American Tragedy. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of lame.
No, I don't mind.
And it gives it away, too.
Yeah.
Should have named it like The American Dream or something. And then
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
good.
good
Yeah.
idea.
that's what I'm here for. Every once in a while, I got some good ones.
And then the other one I wrote real quick.
Or White Picket Fence, something like that.
That was a TV show, wasn't it? Picket Fences.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, the other one I wrote was it was the middle of my divorce. I had to keep my brain busy, so I bought Pac Rim and 47 Ronin to watch to keep my brain busy. And there's a line in 47 Ronin when he's right before he seppukus himself. He says, "If I can't have you in this life, I'll find you in the next." So my character's wife dies, so he somehow starts jumping from dimension to dimension to find her, but his involvement in these dimensions starts causing these dimensions to collapse in on themselves until he learns that it's his fate not to have the love of his life, so he gives up.
I would watch that as well. I like it when you get a movie that
Man, I really brought the room down, man. I'm sorry.
I love it. I would watch these movies. I like it when
it's an interesting story, but again, when I think of romance, I think of something different.
Yeah.
Are you like crying on the inside? You look so like depressed. You're like,
God, Adam, cheer up.
I just like it when you take the tropes and send them on their heads. Like if I was ever to write a romance film, it would start with like the opening credits montage of the dating sequence. The movie starts with them married and happily ever after. And if I'm making a romantic comedy, it's just the trials and tribulations of life. There is no giant breakup scene. There is no massive hurdle they can't be together. It's two people. They fall in love. They get married, and there's no difficulty between the two of them. And then from there on out, it's just a story of, okay, this is normal human life, and as you move across, through the years, shit happens. Maybe sometimes it's bad. Maybe sometimes it's good. You make the best of it, and that's the romance movie I would make. You take something and you blow the tropes apart and you create something new and unique. And that's why I like yours. They're sad, they're tragic, but they're new and unique takes on the romance trope.
See,
okay,
Cody?
I can get with it. I can get with that too. I'm saying all this stuff, but one of the
I can get with that too. It'll probably rain. He's so sad.
There was a romantic story I read recently, and it ended up being pretty damn sad. And it sort of kind of goes along with that thing. It's just about this guy. He falls in love with this girl, but every time he finally gets her to acknowledge her, she just disappears. She just disappears, and then he goes about his life sad, depressed. Then he finds her again, but she's different. It's like she's just been reincarnated instantaneously as somebody else in the same universe. And this just keeps happening and happening each time. And he tries to keep happy about it. He goes, I get to see her again. And then he just keeps getting more devastating about it until finally it goes the reverse. And then when she finally I love you, and she stays, he disappears.
Yeah, I like
that.
that.
Yeah, and it was just like, God.
Wait,
and I understand it because it's interesting.
You watched or read it?
Read it.
A short story?
It was a manga.
Oh, gotcha. It seemed very Japanese-ish.
Yeah.
So now that I brought everyone down,
You gonna bring us back up?
yeah, let's go through some of our favorite, the ones that I haven't ruined for you
Our
guys.
favorite rom-coms?
Rom-coms, tragedies.
Oh, I thought we were just doing rom-coms.
Whatever you guys got. Daniel, you give out your first one.
Okay, so I've got two lists. I've got comedies and I've got not comedies.
Okay.
Okay, so my first one for comedy is an older one. It's What Women Want with Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about that. I loved that one as a kid.
That one was
Mel
pretty
Gibson,
good.
Helen Hunt.
That was the first one where I went, okay, romantic comedies can be good. And I hung on to that one. I really liked that one a lot.
The movie was honestly good.
In the
Yeah.
sequel, do we hear his inner? Is that on there?
Did you have it on the list?
No.
Oh.
www.
What women want?
No.
So is the sequel that us hearing his inner monologue on his hatred towards?
Was there a sequel to that?
No. It was
okay.
one.
Be Mel Gibson's inner thought monologue on how he hates certain group of
He's making a Mel Gibson joke.
I know.
Okay.
It wasn't funny.
I know.
No.
Anyway, go ahead.
Chirp, 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 chirp,
I'll put that in post.
Okay.
Well, people laughing and clapping like, yeah!
You're hilarious, Adam. Okay, anyway, go
You're
ahead.
obviously the best one. You're the only one that says funny things.
Get a common laugh trap. Don't use that one that they made in the 50s that they still use today, because that one just scares the hell out of me.
I'm just going to make a laugh track of nothing but Wilhelm screams. Just a massive...
Can we use that for something?
Oh,
Can we
please,
do that?
please.
That would be awesome.
If-
Or have you seen the trend with like the Owen Wilson, like the wow? They're using his face to do wow for everything.
Yeah.
Like we should do more like wow, like it's like a laugh track. That'd be good too.
If we ever make a movie that uses the Wilhelm scream, after it happens, someone has to go, "No, Wilhelm!" every single time. You killed Wilhelm! Every time.
All right.
Every time the movie happens. Like, that's one of my movie goals if I ever made a movie, was I'm going to use a Wilhelm scream at least once, and someone's going to be very, very sad that he died.
Okay. Fair enough. So do we want to just back and forth, or we want to do all your lists?
We can just run down my list
Okay.
real quick.
All right.
Okay. For again with the comedies, Ugly Truth. I mentioned that earlier.
Oh, right.
Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl.
I
Yeah,
go because she's in everything.
yeah, because she's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
My next one is Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling and Emma Watson, I think.
I give Ryan Gosling's hair in that a Blade Runner 2049 -1.
Ooh,
It's similar.
Good score.
It's similar, but it's a little puffier on the sides. He's got the sides trimmer on Blade Runner. Gosling's got his hair is pretty standard, except for like the Notebook. He's got like when he kind of grows out in the beard and stuff. So
Okay, yeah.
pretty standard stuff. Good
Yes.
hair and drive too.
Yeah, so those are my three favorite romantic comedies.
Okay.
For non-romantic movies that are not comedies, I've got Phantom of the Opera, which we mentioned
which one?
earlier.
The Gerard Butler one.
The Gerard Butler one.
Did you like his singing? A lot of people hated his
Oh,
singing.
loved it. I thought he was. I think the man has some pipes.
Here singing the Lon Chaney one.
I have, and that's good.
Okay.
But I did like the Butler one better. I actually
Okay.
bought the soundtrack for that one.
Fair enough.
A Winter's Tale.
Oh, we've talked about this one before
We
too.
talked
yeah.
about this one. This is the one where Will Smith plays the devil and the guy does some time traveling.
Colin Farrell.
Yep, Colin Farrell.
That's a famous book, right?
I believe it comes from a book. Yeah, I don't know if the name of the book's the same as the name of the movie.
Sorry, work just texted me, so I wasn't ignoring you.
Okay, you're fine. Next one is Fault in Your Stars.
No,
Fault in the Stars?
the cancer one, the
cancer
emo
one.
Faults
one.
in Our Stars.
Fault in Our Stars, that's the one, yep. I really enjoyed it. I thought, again, a unique take on romance. I thought the characters were genuine and interesting. I really, really liked it.
Okay.
And then the last one I have on the non-comedy list is Age of Adeline.
I never heard of that one. Help me out here.
That one is about a woman. It might be Katherine Heigl again. I have to look. But basically, she gets into a car wreck and is struck by lightning, and it causes her cells to...
Blake Lively.
Okay. Blake? Sounds like a guy's name.
That's Deadpool's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Not that's Ryan Reynolds' wife, not
Yeah.
Deadpool's wife. Sorry.
Okay. I didn't think
She
that
was in the OC.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. She gets struck by lightning while in her car wreck, and it causes her to stop aging.
Really?
Yeah. So she goes through her life, for the most part, not aging, and she has a daughter, and she falls in love with all these people, and eventually she falls in love with this guy, and it turns out that she dated his dad when he was a teenager.
So she's not immortal. Like she or it never gets that far in the story.
She eventually loses her ability to, like, she gets in, like, spoilers, she gets into a car wreck, struck by lightning a second time, and then she starts aging again.
Rapidly, like she gathers all those years back. Or,
No, she's ages at a normal human age.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I kind of want to see that one.
I was surprised by it. I didn't think I was going to like it, and then I really, really did enjoy it.
Who made you pick that up, by the way?
My now ex-wife and I
Gotcha.
went and saw that in theaters. We actually, the Winter's Tale, Fault in Our Stars, and Age of Adeline, I all went with her for different Valentine's Day events and different movies that she wanted to see, and I actually ended up really, really liking those three.
Okay.
And she's a huge Steve Carell fan, so we went and saw Crazy Stupid Love, and again, it went on my list of really good romantic movies.
Okay. Josh?
Have Cody go next.
Cody? You're up.
Oh,
Okay.
did I run through most of your list?
We're not going to talk about it.
PSI or Crazy Stupid Love? Anyway, I'm sorry, Cody. Go ahead.
A bunch of mine are romantic comedies. So that's just because I enjoy comedies in general.
Okay.
So I have What Happens in Vegas.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yes.
And is it Cameron Diaz?
Yes.
Okay.
Failure to Launch.
Well, you got to give a brief
Okay.
description.
What Happens in Vegas? What Happens in Vegas? Failure to Launch.
But did you say failure to launch?
Failure to Launch.
Scratch it off again.
Damn it! I'm sorry.
I hate everything.
Failure to Launch.
Okay. What happened in Vegas? Ashton Kutcher, Cameron Diaz get drunk, get married, and then like they want to get an annulment, but they win a jackpot, like $1 million jackpot or something like that.
Oh, and they have to
So they
split it.
so they try and stay together to keep the money.
I need to rephrase that. Ashton Kutcher wins the jackpot, and she keeps the marriage going because she wants half the mill.
Okay, well there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Would you stay married to Cameron Diaz? I don't. Young Cameron Diaz. I don't know.
She was not my favorite Charlie Angel.
No, you know what my favorite Charlie Angel was? Demi Moore in the second one.
Not bad. Drew Barrymore.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that scene in the first one where she flips the chair over and does like the dance out and that's called kicking your ass. Oh, I fell in love.
Yeah, laws of physics just don't exist in that series.
No, not at all.
They just give the big old middle finger to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I interrupt you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Failure to Launch.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. I do not know. I forget her.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica
Son
Parker.
of a bitch.
Terry Bradshaw's in that movie too, right? That's
Yes,
Yeah.
he plays the father. Alongside the mother is
Barbara Streisand.
no,
Oh.
no, it's not Barbara Streisand. It's the other one. She was in she's in that Stephen King movie, the one Misery.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
No way, really?
Yep.
Yeah, she plays. The
I do
mother.
not see Terry Bradshaw going with Kathy Bates. Although Kathy Bates was naked in About Schmidt. Not bad. Good butt. I give it. Good butt though. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Failure to Launch. I like that. It seemed to be
Zoe Deschanel's in it too.
Yeah,
I was just looking
she's
at
the
it.
best part of the movie.
Holy
Yeah.
crap! Justin Bartha and Bradley. That's half of the Hangovers in this.
The whole
Yeah.
movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it starts off a basic. This guy just doesn't want to move out of the house. They want him out of the house. He's just a
it's a
grown
big-
child, and then you
basically-
find out there is a reason for him to be that way. He has experienced a massive tragedy, and he just not ready to move on. And they basically force him anyway.
What's spoilers? What's the tragedy?
And well, I guess it's been years now. He was really keen on this girl, and she died right in the middle of their relationship. Just died so suddenly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and then they hire her to get him out of the house to basically give him confidence so he can live by himself and stuff like
So
that.
that's a hooker. They hired their son a hooker.
Basically, what she does is she gets paid by parents who want their sons out of the house, but they have confidence issues. So she dates them to build up their confidence.
But no sex.
No sex.
Gotcha. Okay.
She dates them to build up their confidence. Once they're confident enough to move out and feel like they have control of themselves, then she breaks it off with them. But they think it's a real relationship, but the parents pay her to do it to get the guys out of the house because
Okay.
they still live at home.
But they end up actually falling in love.
Basically,
yeah.
It started out as a job, I swear, but
right.
I love you now.
Yeah, it's one of those flop things.
Gotcha, okay.
But yeah, Zoe Deschanel is the best part of the entire
Yes,
movie. She
Zoe
just
Deschanel.
deadpans everything. It's perfect, dry, like sarcastic. She's
Now,
amazing.
is she Bones or New Girl?
New girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're sisters, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Emily Deschanel is Bones.
Bones. Okay.
The Proposal. Ryan Reynolds, Sandra Bullock.
That was a good one.
Now, is that the
was a
one?
good one.
Is that the one where he comes out of the shower and they run into each other and they're
Yes.
freaking out? And she's like, "Why? Why are you on top of me? Why are you naked?" Yeah, I remember that one. Okay, cool. That's where. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Basically, he works for her. She's a head executive. She basically forces him to pretend like they're getting married so she can stay in the country because she's actually Canadian.
Okay.
And so they're going to get a quick marriage so she can stay in the country so she can keep her job as the head of department. But he's getting something out of it too because he's actually an aspiring writer and they work at a book publishing company.
Okay.
Is that the one with Betty White in it?
Yes.
She is the best part of that film.
Yes.
In the
Is
ambulance,
she still
like,
alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forever, she will outlive us all.
Wow.
And thank God for that.
Wait,
Yes.
now what's the one where Ryan Reynolds was fat in high school? And he
That's
shit,
two more movies down. I'll get to it.
Okay, sorry.
So the whole thing, they go up, pretend that they're getting married to his entire family. Then, it's actually real. This is like the classic, oh no, we can't be together. I was just using him so I could stay in the country. I don't want to do this anymore because I don't want to hurt your family anymore. And then he comes down like, no, I love you. I found out I love you. We're doing this.
It probably helps that you look like Ryan Reynolds. Too.
Yes. He's actually in...
Most of your choices.
Well, another one of my choices,
Whoa,
yes.
is there something you need to tell us? It's cool. No judgment here.
Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. I can't...
Do you think do you think he's a good looking man?
Yes.
Oh god.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So like a good handful of mine have Gerard Butler in them because I do really enjoy him, and Cody's got a lot of Ryan Reynolds. So
Is it the accent with you?
yeah, the accent does a lot for Gerard Butler.
Just finding out
Is-
who everybody's man
is it
crushes
the
are.
boy?
Oh, yeah.
Is
Oh,
it,
yeah.
Is it the boyish humor for you?
The boyish humor, and all the movies I've seen him in is I just really like his characters that he plays. He's a
Okay.
good actor.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds does.
It's not just looks. It's not like, oh, hi, I'm so attractive. It helps, don't get me wrong.
That's the line I use all the time. I
But-
even say it just like that too. Anyway, go ahead. I interrupted you.
Okay, my next one is I Love You, Philip Morris.
Jim Carrey? No, Aaron Eckhart.
It has Jim Carrey in it.
Oh, okay.
I am unfamiliar with that one.
That's the smoking
Haven't
one?
seen it.
What?
That's a smoking one?
No, this is about a guy. It starts off. I think you might enjoy this because it starts off a guy in a happy relationship with a woman. They have a child, and doing all this stuff. And then
Murder,
the next,
suicide.
no, then the next scene.
Love it.
And then the next scene you see is like, it cuts to like a sex scene, and you see him just going away at it like, this is kind of weird. I thought this was like.
Wait,
a
are you
classic-
about to make a gay joke at me?
I'm not. Not
yet,
I'm
that's
not
later.
making the gay joke. I'm liking it's a twist. It's a turn on head.
Yeah,
And then
that's
the
actually
next
kinda
scene,
cool.
it pans out, and
I'm
he's
pretty sure I've seen that in a gay movie a couple times.
and he's. Can I say the F word?
Adam has all day. So it's
Okay.
fine.
No, I did really good tonight. But yes, as long as
Okay,
it's not
and it pans
derogatory.
out, and he's just fucking another man, just like out of nowhere. And then you're like, what? This didn't have anything like this at all. And then it goes to explain that he's always been gay, but he's been held down by conventions of society because he grew up in a
Right.
church-going town.
Okay.
And he couldn't be gay because he's a man or like stuff like this.
Well, technically, I guess gay can mean female too, but being a man is one of the specifics. Did you have Philip Morris on?
No, I'm laughing because it just. I know you use it for an armrest, but you pulled it over like you needed a barrier between you and Adam. Just.
It's palpable, the love between us. Anyway, go ahead.
And then to the next scene, he's driving, conflicted, and all this. Then a car wreck, bam, and then you realize he's tired of living a lie. Confesses to his wife, "I'm gay," and she's like, "What?" And then they break up, and he starts having a gay life.
Oh,
But
Leslie Mann plays the wife?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Then he starts having a gay life, and then it shows. He says being gay is expensive, and it goes to come to find out he is a con man, swindler, insurance fraud, everything.
He's not even gay.
No, he is gay.
Both men are gay.
Yes.
But it turned out that the love of his life is a horrible person. Not because
No,
he's gay.
I'm not.
No, he is the horrible person.
He is the horrible person.
The main character.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's all about. It's actually sort of based on a true story, I think.
Oh.
And it shows how he's conning to support his life. He gets thrown in jail where he meets Philip Morris. The love,
Oh,
the true love of his
That
life.
explains the poster.
Right.
Okay.
True love of his life. He's basically worked his way integrated into into the prison system where he has pool. Basically makes it where they end up in the same cell together, happy home.
What do you think prison where he'd want to be?
You
I took it too far.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm like that. We say that stuff, and then none of us know what it's like in prison. I've had uncles that worked as prison guards. It's not a good place to be.
I agree.
Yeah, why make a joke when we can get all serious about it?
I'm sorry.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm trying to bring us back up.
If you want, when you're looking up for your next thing, if you want to take your soapbox and just slide it off to the... Okay.
I'm sorry. And then it just goes on and on about their relationship and the trials and them trying to get out of prison together.
Cody, I think this is like the most you've talked in our podcast.
Well, I like rom-coms,
Okay,
and
cool.
all these movies I do enjoy.
All right. Well, I'm glad you stayed tonight, then.
Okay. And then
I'm gonna call you Philip Morris.
next one, Just Friends. I think if somebody had to say it.
Is that the Ryan Reynolds?
That's the Ryan Reynolds one where he grows up, high school, best friend with the most popular girl in school, but she's the cheerleader. He's the overweight fat kid. That's also the cheerleader. Gets embarrassed, leaves town. Basically, the Ugly Duckling story. Gets all ripped and buff, and then he has to go back to his town because of certain circumstances, and then he finds out she's still there because he always thought she'd be off trotting the world and stuff. And so he's like, man, I'm all good and hot looking now. I'm going to get her now that I'm the guy that she always wanted.
That's one of those ones that I actually didn't like.
But the good thing was he came back all hot and sexy, but he wasn't slick. Like he still was the goofy.
He was still the goofy.
Like he set her father's Christmas decorations on fire or something like that.
Yeah, like that was one of the ones I didn't like, and being the owner of a comic book store, I kind of have a soft spot for, a pet peeve of the stupid, ugly geek who can't do anything right, who's overweight, and that one hits a lot of those notes. That movie hits a lot of those notes where it's kind of personal for me, where it's like, okay, yeah, he's fat. And, oh, he's also a geek, and he can't do anything right. Oh, and there's this hot chick he's really, really friends with, but no, he can't make a move, and he's too dumb to do anything about it. He's so socially inept.
Cody, did you keep that soapbox over there?
I'll take it back.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it hits, like, a lot of those notes just boom, 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 that I find kind of distasteful in Hollywood and production. So it was one of those ones I didn't personally care for. But Ryan Reynolds does a good job. And I don't remember who the female actress was, but I remember she did a pretty good job on that one, too.
Wasn't it... hang on. It was the chick from that 70s show, wasn't it?
No.
I don't think it was Melanie.
Amy Smart, sorry. It was Amy Smart.
And the scene where they're in the diner and he's like, oh, I just want this salad, and the waitress brings him, like, this volcano of pancakes and ice cream and whatever it was. Like, that was pretty damn funny.
What he used to eat every time he went to the diner as a kid.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah. Then definitely maybe another Ryan Reynolds movie.
I don't know that. That one sounds familiar. What's that one about?
Okay, it's about a single father and his daughter, and it's going through. She wants to know where she comes from, and because she doesn't really know her mother that well, and he tells her basically 3 stories about his life. About each a love interest he had, and he says, I'm not going to tell you which one's your mother, but you choose which one you think it is her. And it comes out the mother is not the true love of his life. It happens to be this one that he lost contact with, but they magically they meet back up again later on in life. It's an interesting because it's just from him telling the story of each one of them, different time periods throughout, because it's sort of got a little political thing because he's working to try and get President Clinton elected because it takes place in that time period. And he was I wouldn't say
campaign advisor.
Not a campaign advisor, but worked in a local branch.
A political consultant, it says.
Yes. I like that one too because it was different. And then Yes Man.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one where he has to say yes to everything, right?
Yes to everything.
Isn't that kind of a liar, liar, read
Basic.
liar, liar, light?
Yeah,
Sure.
basically.
Okay.
He has to he goes to some motivational speaker thing or something, and the slogan is he gets hypnotized or whatever. I think
Was Tony
Does not
Robbins?
get hypnotized.
does
Tony
not
Robbins
hypnotized.
in
We make he made a covenant.
Oh, okay. He made it's some kind of. I think Tony. He might be. I'm not sure.
that? Okay.
But you have instead of saying no, you have to say yes to new experiences or whatever. So he just says yes to everything, and he meets some young girl, I think, that just wants
Zooey
to run
Deschanel.
wild and go do all this crazy stuff. And he's like, yes, let's go. Yes, let's go for everything she wants to do. And some of it's kind of off the wall, and there's hijinks and whatnot.
Right, and but I think besides the wacky happen to say yes thing, I think the movie's sort of got a good message. Like, if you always negative about everything that you ever do, you're never gonna do anything.
That's very true. You can't win if you don't
Don't
play.
look at me with that.
No,
comment.
I'm just saying. Again, and they explained in the movie, where he kind of took it to the extreme by saying yes to everything, and it ended up destroying everything a little bit, and then, we're back together again. That common trope, too.
Okay.
But I like that message, if you don't do, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to stay the same.
You gotta do.
You have to be willing to shake up something for something to happen.
You have to do and fail, learn, do, fail, learn.
Right.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Be willing to try new stuff.
Now, do you have any lists left?
I came up with some new stuff. I've got a deep well.
Okay.
Um,
That's what you.
I see about 3
Giggity.
things on that list.
Huh?
I see about 3 things on that
I have
list.
6.
Okay.
And a lot of scratches.
Okay.
You bastards.
I want to know which ones you scratched out as you go along.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So we'll start with the comedies. 'Cause those are the ones I prefer.
Okay.
We'll start bad and we'll get better.
Okay.
So we're just gonna ramp it all the way up.
Ramp it up.
We're gonna start with Hitch.
Oh, I
Will
forgot about
Will
Yeah,
this.
Smith,
Kevin
Kevin
James.
James. I forget the female lead's name.
We all go for him.
Everybody's googling things. Yeah.
Google. We need our new sound setup. We need an effect as soon as we go to Google.
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock came up. That was cool. Hitch starred Will
Eva
Smith.
Mendes.
Eva Mendes.
Man, I
that's
thought
her.
I had you.
Yep. So he basically teaches guys without confidence how to be more confident when it comes to meeting women, the guys who don't have the confidence to do so. She's a reporter. She hears a story about a guy running around doing this. They end up meeting each other. Go ahead. Oh,
no,
go ahead.
I just had a thought. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Kevin James is a kind of a nerdy guy who is an accountant for one of the most well-known women in the town or whatever. He ends up having feelings for her. Hitch starts working with her, and somebody sees the accountant out with this girl, and Eva
How
Mendes.
could that guy get that girl?
Exactly. So Eva Mendes, the reporter, is looking into this kind of stuff, ends up meeting Hitch, finds out what's going on. Hitch ends up turning some guy down who asked for help earlier on in the movie, who ends up being a sleazeball and sleeps with one of Eva Mendes' friends by being a douchebag. And she finds out, thinks it was Hitch that helped him do it, and hates him for it, and that's where the whole thing blows up. Then they come back together, and there's the whole stuff. But
There's that line.
it was pretty. There's a lot of funny stuff in it. It was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot, especially the dancing scene when he's trying to teach him how to dance. That was fun.
I
loved
never
that.
would
No.
picture you. I never would picture you two into this. This is like blowing my mind. Like seriously, I am like blown away by the fact that you guys love these movies.
If you're a single straight man, you need to have some romantic movies that you enjoy for when you have that date night.
Oh, yeah.
No. Okay, well, that's probably why my relationships suck.
Well, we wasn't saying it outright. Oh.
Man, you're coming with fire tonight, man.
Oh.
I haven't been in a relationship for a little while, but most of my relationships have lasted for a few years or longer. So I have to know some of this
All
stuff.
right, fair enough.
It's required by law. The next movie, did your thing pop up now, or is there?
And I have an idea of a movie. Yeah, okay, so as you were describing
Before I
Hitch,
get
it
too
reminded me of a movie that I enjoyed, but I can't think of the name of it. Basically, this guy gets paid to go on dates with girls, and they are the worst dates ever. And he does that on purpose so that the girls go back to the guys they just recently broke up with.
Except one time
I have
it
not
doesn't
seen.
work.
Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
remember what movie
That
that
wasn't
was.
Good Luck Chuck, was it?
No, that was where he bangs chicks and they end up getting married to the next guy
they
they date.
find their true
Yeah,
love.
that was close, but not quite.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I'm gonna have to do some research on
That's
that one,
Jessica
but-
Alba in her underwear. Good, very good.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. I was hoping that one of you guys would recognize that from the plot,
I
but-
did not know it.
Who's in it?
I don't know.
That's all the info you get, buddy. Start
got the
digging.
All I can remember, other than I enjoyed it.
The second romantic comedy I have is a rework of a Shakespeare play,
Oh, you
Taming of the
prick.
Shrew. It is
Oh,
10
never
Things
mind.
I Hate About You.
I thought you had
With
one I had.
Matthew
so-
McConaughey.
No.
No,
10 Things I
Joker.
Hate About You is Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Julia Stiles, I believe is her name.
No, I think about how.
That movie is that was one of the ones I had written down and scratched it out because it was actually Failure to Launch and I got the name wrong. So I'm glad you came up with it because I would look like an idiot.
Yeah,
Too late.
yeah.
So 10 Things I Hate About You is just like a modern retelling of Taming of the Shrew, basically. It's pretty funny. I liked it a lot. Any of you
Yeah.
guys end up seeing that at all? or-
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of when I called out Taming of the Shrew earlier when you
Yeah.
were trying to floundering for that one name I was thinking of.
The other woman?
Yeah. Could be.
Good Luck Chuck came up, so that must not be it. My Best Friend's Girl?
Could be My Best Friend's Girl.
That's Dan Cook too, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is a Dan Cook movie. That is.
Because
it
his
is a
buddy's
Dan
the plastic
Cook.
surgeon.
Maybe.
No, that's Good Luck Chuck.
That is Good Luck
That's
Chuck.
Good Luck
yeah,
Chuck.
yeah.
Okay.
Now, do you remember when they parried when they
Yep, it's My Best Friend's Girl. Yep, that's what it is.
Okay.
when
Okay.
they parodied
Parodied.
the movie you were just talking about,
Which one?
the
10
one
Things I Hate About You? Yeah.
and they're like, you gotta sing to your girl, but you gotta pick a song.
Oh, don't they sing Janie's Got a
Janie's
Gun?
got a gun. He's like, Janie's got a gun.
Oh, and Not Another Teen Movie?
Yeah.
That was pretty good too.
That's a classic.
Go ahead. Sorry.
In my last romantic comedy, I'm going to get some looks.
Okay.
Chasing Amy.
All right. No, I can get behind Chasing
That
Amy.
movie
That
was
one
fantastic.
That's okay. That one's pretty
I mean, you can be wrong. That's fine.
No.
That movie was great.
As far as the original View Askew universe is, that's my least favorite. But that doesn't mean it's not bad. What?
I mean, when you consider it to Mallrats and Clerks,
This movie was better than Mallrats.
you get out.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
It
leave
was better than
now.
And this is
Mallrats.
coming from a guy who works in a comic book store, and Chasing Amy is about comic book artists, and he still says,
I don't care.
Mallrats was perfect.
No.
Mallrats was
Mallrats.
awesome.
Mallrats was, of all of the older View Askew movies, Mallrats was the worst one.
no.
No.
Yep.
Rewatchability. Clerks may have been
Clerks.
a defining
Clerks-
movie, but rewatchability, how many times have you rewatched Clerks?
I've watched.
I've watched
Clerks.
it more than I've watched any of the other older ones.
I've watched
You're a
Clerks
pretentious little...
two or three times. I've seen Mallrats like 5 or 6.
Oh yeah, I'll stop doing what if I'm flicking through the TV. Well, not anymore.
Well,
so
let's
Oh, yeah,
let's
right.
judge it real quick. Chasing Amy, 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.5 out of 4 from Roger Ebert,
Those people
7.3 out of
don't
10
count.
from IMDb. Let's check Mallrats.
All
Let's see
right.
what Mallrats looks like.
All right, you just
Okay.
remember those numbers. Yeah, but Rotten Tomatoes, you really can't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
55% on Rotten Tomatoes, 1.5 out of 4 from Roger Ebert, and 7.2 out of 10 from IMDb.
What does Ebert
None of
know
those
he's
matter
dead?
because they're all wrong.
Chasing Amy was a far better movie than Mallrats, but Mallrats also was not a romantic comedy.
True.
Oh,
Yes.
all right,
Yes.
all
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
you're right,
Yeah.
you're
All right.
you're So back on topic.
I'm not saying Chasing Amy was a bad movie.
It
I
was.
enjoyed Chasing Amy. I really enjoyed it.
It was probably the best movie he's made.
Now I do like
As
it-
far as best movie with some mainstream appeal to it.
Dogma. I'm sorry, Dogma.
I'm going Jersey Girl.
Dogma was my favorite.
I liked Jersey
Kevin
Girl,
Smith
too.
movie.
That's
I think
actually-
Chasing Amy was the best one. I
Now-
liked Dogma a lot, but I think Chasing Amy was the best one.
Now
Personally.
I did like the line where the typical Jay and Silent Bob cameo They come in, and Silent Bob does his speech about chasing Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't remember what it said, but it always made me laugh really hard. Where Jay finally was like, "Okay, we gotta go," and he's like, "I can never get you to talk, but you won't shut up about that damn chasing Amy story." Like that always made me laugh.
Right.
But yeah, okay, all right, I'll go see it.
Yeah, that one was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, watch it now.
Yeah, 100%.
Pause the thing.
Yeah.
Go rent it or download it and watch it because it's really good.
We'll wait.
You're gonna make me do the download disclaimer at the end of this.
Well,
aren't
you can download it like from Google
There
Play
you
and
go.
pay your
I'll
money.
do the disclaimer before we get to the closing.
You
It's
download it from
fine.
Google Play or wherever and pay your
Yeah,
money and
no.
pay the rental fee and watch it.
Okay, all right.
All right, what's the
There are
non-comedic?
legal download terms. All right.
What's-
And non-comedic
Non-comedic. My favorite.
romance movies. Silver Linings Playbook. That movie was fantastic. Are you hanging yourself? Good. Bonus. I get to talk about a good movie and no more Adam.
I had no idea what that was about. I
Bradley Cooper.
Did you watch it?
no.
It's
Hunger Games
Jennifer
shit.
Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. It was fantastic.
It's not like about. I'm gonna. Like I can see the cover in my head. Isn't it like a football movie?
No, it has nothing to do with
no
sports.
football.
Huh? No,
Does it have like a football like cover though, like a playbook for football? On the cover?
I don't remember what
Am I
the
thinking
cover
of the
looked
wrong
like.
movie? Am I just saying football to say football?
Maybe you
you're
just
saying
like
it
to say
because you
football.
said-
I don't
because
know.
of Silver
Yeah,
Linings
it does.
Playbook.
It does kind of have that.
Okay, well, yeah, like the playbook. Like I figured it wasn't
Yeah, right,
like
yeah.
actually a football movie. But
It's got some like drawings that look like they would be
okay.
like the X's and the lines and stuff, but it's not. It's not a sports movie at all.
You see, I've always avoided it because I thought it was a.
No, it's a romance movie. It's not like a comedy. It's more of a drama, but it deals a lot with like mental health and stuff, which is pretty cool too. It's a great story. Honestly, I think it's a fantastic film.
What?
Yeah, watch it. Watch the hell out of it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, well, okay, somebody that likes good things should watch it then,
Okay.
and not you.
All right.
Next one on the non-comedic section is Punch Drunk Love.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, that's right.
That's his first drama.
It's the first non-comedy movie of his I've seen, and
Yeah,
I thought it was
Steven
fantastic.
Soderbergh, I think, directed that.
Huh. No, I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, he wore a great powder blue
The suit
in
the
that
suit
movie.
was great.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
So Adam Sandler plays a bathroom supply business owner. He's a timid, shy guy. He leads a lonely life, mostly because he gets berated by his sisters all the time. But he's kind of susceptible to violent outbursts on occasion. So he's like a really conflicted character. So some stuff happens. His life gets shaken up a little bit, and he ends up falling in love with his sister's coworker. But the romance gets threatened when he falls victim to an extortionist, and some other stuff happens. So it's a pretty cool story. It's kind of like a drama thriller a little bit, which was way out of character for him. I saw Adam Sandler and I was like, I want to watch a dumb comedy, and I didn't pay attention to any previews or anything. I went and watched it, and I was like, wow.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah, it was really good though.
Yeah,
I thought.
no, I agree. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. And the last one is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, yeah, the one with Jim Carrey.
The Jim Carrey, yep, and the
Chick from Titanic.
Kate Winslet, I think her name is.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's. Have you seen that? It's more of a. It's kind of sci-fi-ish a little bit. These two people they have a relationship. It's like real deep, real serious, and then things kind of fall apart. And there's a company that you can go to that will erase memories. So the whole story is like him remembering things and the memories kind of falling apart and shifting into other memories of their time together and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Right?
And it's sort of like, yeah, it was painful, but there was good times there too.
Right.
You shouldn't just throw out everything just because
Just
might
because
have
it ended badly.
because
Yeah.
you grow from it.
Kind of like that message that Click had.
Right.
About you can't fast forward through all the bad things you miss all of life.
Didn't
Yep.
he turn out he wanted the memory back after he had it erased? Like he felt. No.
I wasn't
Yeah.
going to spoil anything.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But yeah.
All right, mine.
Did you have to scratch out a bunch of stuff too?
No.
Did we ruin you? No.
No.
Or are you just gonna pick a bunch of slasher movies because hey,
No,
they're
no,
boning?
no slashers.
Okay.
These are
They're boning. That's romance.
These are genuine. I genuinely love this movie. Life Less Ordinary.
Okay.
That's familiar.
You've seen it?
Mhm.
Stars Ewan McGregor stars as a cleaning man in Los Angeles. He takes his boss's daughter hostage after being fired and replaced by a robot. Two angels who are in charge of human relationships on Earth offer some unsolicited help to bring this unlikely couple together.
If it's got Ewan McGregor in it, I
Now-
could be down for that.
It stars Ewan McGregor, Cameron Diaz, Holly Hunter, and a blink and you miss it cameo from the then unknown Timothy Oliphant. Classic McGregor hair. I give it a Liam Gallagher +4.
High praise. High praise.
Directed by Danny Boyle. Great soundtrack. Has a great closing credit song by Beck. So basically, these two. Ewan McGregor gets he wants to write romantic novels. Okay, and he's a janitor. He gets replaced by a robot. So he accidentally takes the boss's daughter hostage, and it turns out like these two are meant to fall in love, but they're just not going. So these angels come down and they're doing whatever it is they can to get them together, and it's just not working. And the two angels are not allowed to go back up into heaven until these two fall in love. It's cool. It's the last time Danny Boyle and Ewan McGregor worked. Because they had a falling out after that. But every Danny Boyle movie starred Ewan McGregor, and then he did The Beach with Leonardo, and that's what caused the... Check it out, it's great.
It was good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz in a tight black swimsuit. Very cool. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. You ever seen it?
Which one's that one?
Yeah, I was going to ask you which one that was.
That's Shakespeare's famous plays updated to
Well,
a hip
we know what
modern
Romeo
suburb.
Juliet is.
That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it?
Starring
Yes,
Leonardo.
That one's good.
That's what I need to know. Yes, that one was...
Starring
Damn
Leonardo, Claire Danes, Leguizamo, Paul Sorvino, Paul Rudd. Loved the music. The
Yeah.
fight in the gas station was awesome.
The fight was good. The only thing I didn't really care for that was the I bite my thumb at thee, sir opening section.
Okay.
Like, every time I've read Romeo and Juliet, I've always imagined that to be a much more kind of suave, like, not, how do I want to put that? A little bit more of a smooth, yes, I'm going to insult you, but no, I'm not really insulting you, kind of sarcastic kind of scene. And they make it so that I think the Capulets are more, like, scared of the Tybalts. Montagues, that's it. Yeah, Tybalt's a character. Sorry. Yeah, the Capulets are more scared of the Montagues in that scene rather than more sarcastic and smooth.
I like the idea of the old Shakespearean English with the frenetic pacing that was popular at that time. I thought that was really cool. I can rewatch that movie at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
The peak of Leo's great hair. That's the standard. Everyone was trying to get that hair back. I give it a DiCaprio +10. Peak. That's the classic Leo hair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Cemetery Junction. It's a 1970s set rom-com centered on three working class friends in a dreary suburb of Reading. So they got out of high school. They want to escape, but they're too scared to do anything. So he ends up falling back in love with he meets his old middle school love interest. She's come back and she's now dating the boss. He works at this job. The number 2 man at the job is now dating this chick, and they fall back in love together, and they realize that they're just going to be as miserable as everyone else in this crappy town. So they break free of everything that they've got in their life, and they get on a train and just, we're gonna do this. Directed and starred by Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. It's kind of just like an easy watch. The drama isn't hardcore. The love isn't hardcore. The comedy isn't. It's just like turn it on. It's just like smooth as butter, man. It's just,
That doesn't surprise me from Ricky Gervais. That doesn't surprise me. The man knows what he's doing.
I like him. I think he needs to keep his political views out of everyone's life. He seems to shove that down your mouth. I like him when he's just doing this type of work. I could care less about his political stuff. I think
That's fair. I mean,
he needs to shut up sometimes. Well, that's all. Well, and Jersey Girl. I really like Jersey Girl a lot. It's my favorite Kevin Smith film.
I don't think I've seen Jersey Girl all the way through. I think I've seen parts of it.
That's the one where that was the height of the Ben Affleck,
J-Lo,
Jennifer Lopez
yeah.
thing. So, like, she actually played the mom in the beginning of the movie. And then when she died in the first 10 minutes, people started cheering in the theater. I remember that.
Now, Gigli supposedly kind of
That movie
bad.
bombed.
Yeah. That did, like, bad publicity for it. Because they did Gigli. The destruction of Gigli was happening right as Jersey Girl was coming out, so it didn't really help.
Yeah.
I can see that. One that came up when you were talking through your list, I remember, is a movie called Michael. And it's about like tabloid news, tabloid writers, and someone sends them a letter saying, "I have an actual real life angel," and they go, and they actually do.
John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta
he
plays
wears,
the angel.
He's wearing bibs in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's an actual
Horrible
real
hair.
angel.
He's like sitting around smoking cigarettes and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and like smells like fresh baked cookies, and
Yeah.
he fights the bull. Yeah, that was another one of those romantic movies I really enjoyed.
Horrible hair, has a mullet in that movie.
Give him a rating.
Huh?
Give him a rating.
Who has a famous mullet? Who has a famous mullet?
The guy who played Joe Dirt.
Oh!
Who's Joe Dirt in general? David Spade doesn't.
David Spade, yeah.
I'll give it a Joe
Joe
Dirt.
Dirte.
I'll give it a Joe Dirte -5 because it was really unkempt. It was really bushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirte
-5.
-5. That's the lowest rating you can get.
Yeah, that's about
pretty rough.
as far as mullets go. That's pretty crap. Now, I give it a Jean-Claude -2 though, because Jean-Claude's was really greasy back in the day.
What about Seagal?
Seagal never had a mullet, did he?
He had a cigullet.
Oh yeah, Seagal has
Seagal.
big
Name
mullets.
the movie he had.
I think one of the Under Sieges, he has a mullet.
Really? Oh wow.
I think it's the second one.
I don't remember which
If it's
one.
not
I
that one,
remember
it's the
seeing
one
it,
where
though.
he's a police officer.
Oh, that's a
And
couple.
He is a police officer.
Glimmer Man?
could be that one. I want to say he's like a police officer in like China or something like that.
No, he's a police officer.
In real
In
life?
real, yes, I know. In real
Okay,
life,
okay.
he is. Yeah.
I never thought we'd go 2 hours on this. So I got really nervous when I was working on this. I did not think we'd go 2 hours. You two blew my mind.
What? I'm just typical.
No,
I listed all the ones you thought I would list.
No. I was saying I kind of thought maybe.
I hate to say, I'm kind of like this. I'm kind of glad for this one. Some of the stuff we do talk about on this show, it goes over my head a lot of the times. I won't lie about it. You know, like I'm not quite sure what to say about this, but I actually knew stuff out of that, so I think I was overcompensating for all the times I wasn't talking.
Hey, it never stops me. I never know what we're talking about.
I think everyone knows already.
We got this from the Supernatural Wiki, and it turned out it was from the damn show.
Okay, since we're at 2 hours, I'm just going to do a few Valentine's Day facts. Not trivia, just facts.
Yeah, run them through.
On Valentine's Day 2000, the producer of Viagra and Pfizer funded an Impotence Awareness Day in Britain. Groundhog Day was originally observed on February 14th.
That's another one that would have worked.
Groundhog Day?
For the romantic
Oh, that
comedy.
was a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's great.
Fantastic in that film.
Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No. Nearly 10 new candy conversation heart sayings are introduced each year. Recent additions are Yeah Right, Puppy Love, and Call Home.
Those aren't romantic.
They're better than the emoji ones.
Well, yeah, but you can only
You
write
can't-
so many.
I mean, you can't get any better. Like, you can't go any worse than the emoji ones. Really, I mean, everything's better.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just want them to make candy hearts with emojis on them now, and just like make a bunch of them with the eggplant thing on it.
Okay.
Like, well, how do you do an emoji heart on top of a conversation heart? Really?
Good
You
question.
just put emojis on top of where the words would be. And don't put words.
It's a heart on top of a heart.
Sacrilege.
Approximately 1 billion Valentine cards are sent each year, as opposed to the 2.6 billion during Christmas.
They send 2.6 billion Valentine's Day cards during Christmas?
No, one. I really need one. See, this is why Cody keeps his mouth shut. I should start keeping my mouth shut.
And then everybody wins.
During Valentine's Day in 2010, 39,897 people in Mexico City broke the record for world's largest kiss. Don't know how. That's all I read.
Okay. Kiss?
That's what it said.
That's confusing.
Maybe his largest group kiss, maybe, but it said largest kiss. So.
Huh.
Like,
is it like a traveling kiss? Because that seems like a real good way to get
Or
herpes.
maybe,
Oh, God, no.
or maybe they all just kissed at once. I don't know.
Oh, that could be.
oh, okay, well, that makes more sense.
What
You
about-
need to learn how to, like...
That's all
English.
it said. I literally copied and pasted it.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit more research in the future.
What about
Who said that? Where did that come from?
What about that perfume story of a murderer? Is that a dramedy? A rom-com?
Romedy.
I am unfamiliar with it.
I don't know what that is.
Um,
You don't even know what it is either. You just copy and pasted it. What are you talking
no,
about?
perfume the story of a murderer. It's got Ben Winshaw in it, the new Q. No, okay. Valentine's Day is a $14.7 billion industry in the U.S. Okay.
Yeah.
In
Not
2005, now I enjoyed this one. In 2005, a U.S. man was charged with using an internet chat room to organize a mass suicide on Valentine's Day.
Wow. All right. That,
Really?
like, dude.
It was me.
Oh. So Valentine's Day, not that bad. If you're lonely, go to the bar. Someone else is lonely. It's called Singles Appreciation Night. Not that bad.
Oh, that was on there too, but I didn't put it on.
Singles Appreciation Night?
Yeah. And also
Conveniently abbreviated to sin. Get in there, literally. Anyway.
Valentine candy conversation
Cody
hearts.
left.
It's not abbreviated sin. Singles Appreciation.
If you take the I off the end, I've glossed over it and Cody just went with it. I was trying to see what I could get, and no. I got one person,
You know it was.
and he didn't catch it.
No.
You're the only one that went, wait a minute, that's not how letters work.
It takes too long for me to figure out abbreviations. So Valentine candy conversation hearts. Take a guess how long their shelf life is.
300 years.
Yeah, I'm going to say infinite.
5 years.
Might as well.
That explains that. How many you guys had that 1 year?
So we usually do recommendations at the end of the show, but I feel like
We did that already.
we already did that.
Technically.
The only other one the only recommendation I want to do besides the one I did are Valentine. Okay, that's that slasher where 5 women are stalked by David Boreanaz, Katherine Heigl. Boreanaz's hair, I give it a bones -2 because it's a little puffier.
Not a fan.
51st Dates.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah,
Drew
okay.
Barrymore.
The classic Sandler Barrymore team up. I'm gonna go with Wedding Singer then.
Has those two done another one yet?
That one was better.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
They did.
But you didn't like Wedding
Blended,
Singer?
yeah.
I was not a huge fan of Wedding Singer, no. I wasn't a huge fan of 51st Dates either. Don't get me
You
wrong.
didn't like
I
Wedding
wasn't.
Singer? That movie was fantastic.
What about 51st Dates?
Man,
Well, it has
not,
what
not a fan.
it has what you guys keep talking in terms of genre on its head. Oh, they can never technically really be together, but they make it work anyway.
That's actually based on a true story, 51st Dates?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think
Or were you
so.
guys talking about Wedding Singer? What?
We both, actually.
Okay.
Thank you for paying attention.
You're welcome.
I'm surprised he followed 2 conversations. He normally can't follow one, so that's pretty good.
It was hard.
Oh.
You know that scene from Requiem of a Dream right before they take a drug where their pupils dilate or whatever? And that was like what was going on in my head. Right? You guys were talking.
I figured it'd be like the meme where like the person's like looking up and then there's like all this math like calculations going on or whatever and you're like
Yeah. See, Adam's brain starts melting at the 2-hour mark.
My brain is gone before I even start.
I think we're like the 20-minute mark.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I couldn't even start tonight's episode correctly. So,
Don't worry, you'll get there eventually.
yeah. Your turn.
Oh, are we doing the closings?
Unless anyone else got anything to say about Valentine's Day, romance movies.
No, I'm over it.
No, I've said pretty much everything.
A really funny something that happened during a date. Josh, did you try doing the popcorn trick? Any stories?
I did once. I did the not the popcorn trick. I did do the yawn and arm stretch.
Does that work?
I did it specifically to be, or I'm sorry, Atlantically to be ironic.
Now, no one will get that joke. Anyway, go ahead.
I did it especially to be ironic, and she was so engrossed in the movie, completely missed the yawn and arm stretch, and just had my arm around her, and it worked.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to do it and you accidentally punched her.
No, I did the whole over-exaggerated yawn, arm stretch, arm around her, looked over to giggle, and hopefully she would laugh, and she was so into the movie, I just left it, and it was good.
Did it fall asleep?
I mean, if you have your arm around a date in the movie theater, your arm's arm's dead.
I did that once as a joke, and I went to stretch, and I was really loud and noisy about it, so she saw it coming, but I wasn't looking, and I accidentally elbowed her in the face.
Oh, man.
I still had sex that night. It worked out.
Yeah, it was very good. Thank you.
I told you she was into it.
Not to quote a movie, but when you've been married, I've been married, you've been with. I don't know you haven't.
We just assume no for Cody.
You haven't divulged your information, so I'm not going to ask you because you haven't divulged it.
Okay.
But pitch in if you want to. Not to quote Mallrats, but when you're spooning, what do you do with the other arm?
I actually the way that that has worked for me, and this is
what
you're laying and you got this arm here, and I would tuck this arm underneath her head.
Really?
Yeah, so her head was here on my elbow, and this was tucked over.
Okay.
So also, if I needed to, snap.
You got the love and the hate.
So just in case she farts in her sleep, you're like, fuck no.
You just farted my dick? Is that in one of the South Park games? That's how you end the world or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. Don't ever fart on somebody's dick.
Fractured butthole?
Or don't fart on my balls. That's what it is.
Yeah, you never fart on
Never fart on
yeah.
another man's balls.
That's stick of
It's
truth.
for stick of truth.
Yeah.
What's your method?
Actually, mine is under the pillow.
Yeah, that's what
Because
Well,
because
under
that
the
way
pillow works
that
too.
way
Under
if
the
I
pillow
have
works
if I
too.
because she's gonna fall asleep before I am.
Yeah.
That's just how that's gonna work. So I'm under the pillow and I'm around. That way, once she passes out, I can roll over and actually. Go
Oh,
to
you're
sleep
under
and get
her
comfortable.
pillow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Under her
I'm
pillow works as well.
I'm under
Yeah.
my pillow. I'm under my pillow, propping my head up.
That's-
I don't like the hair in my nose and my mouth.
Mm.
So I kind of prop my head up above the head.
Fair.
And then,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm under her pillow because I can't sleep when I'm wrapped up on somebody. So I'll lay with her
Yeah.
until she's asleep, and then I slide out, roll over, and go to sleep because I can't sleep that way. It's just not comfortable. I have to sleep on my stomach.
Or I
can't sleep.
did the on the back and then holding right here, and then as soon as they fell asleep, I'd grab the shoulder and then gently, depending on if we got a fight or not, gently
Just throw her off the bed.
body roll her over and then slide out.
Yeah. It works.
Cody, no.
Any opinions, Cody?
Uh,
All right.
Okay.
We've depressed you enough tonight.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So I gotta know. While we're on this discussion, anyone else broken a bed?
Yes.
I broke a frame.
Broke frame?
Yeah.
Yeah. I leg. My side, the back leg, just pow gone.
Mine was one of those metal frames.
Yeah.
It was not one of the thicker ones. It was one of the cheaper ones. So of course it's gonna break. But the whole frame just went like mattress and box springs to the floor.
Okay. Wait, how are you breaking it during
Intercourse.
Cordis? Okay. What's the weirdest place
That we've broken a bed.
Volkswagen Beetle? No.
Very awkward.
The weirdest place you've done it without getting too graphic.
I can't
this
say mine because that's illegal.
Mine's probably illegal too.
Now I'm extremely curious with you too.
Okay, so not with my ex-wife, with a girlfriend I was dating. She worked at a hotel.
Okay.
And
That's where people usually do it at.
yeah, we went into the pool, in the hotel, and then came back to go get changed, and they're in the pool changing room of the hotel.
Is that where you think it's illegal?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Public
It's
space.
definitely indecent exposure
Well,
if
as
someone
long
walks
as no
in.
kids watching.
Well, no, I mean, I'll lock the door and stuff. Even the door at least locks.
What about you?
I can't.
You can't just like change the names to protect the innocent.
Nope, I
Or
cannot discuss
guilty?
it.
That is like schoolyard or something.
That is something him and her will always
It
share.
might start with
Their
her.
own
It-
secret.
Burn my
It
ass.
might start. I can't do it.
It better not be this damn store.
No. There's not a place in here that I would.
Oh, I did it in there.
Well, where you jack off is your business.
No, Daniel was there. We Dutch run each other. No, okay.
Not
so,
gay. It's not gay.
So it's,
It's not. It's fine.
They
It's
didn't
not.
make eye contact.
Doesn't matter. You're not touching somebody else's.
That's
You're
true. The weirdest place was my ex-wife at the time. Well, she was my girlfriend. It was in high school. Threw a birthday party for me. No one showed up.
Aw.
Okay, except for one person. And so we were watching a movie. I want to say, God, what movie was it? It was a horror flick. Okay.
Of course.
So we threw a movie on. My buddy was on the couch. Me and her were on the floor. Okay, covered in blankets. He was still wide awake, and she kind of reached over, and there you go, with him watching the movie.
I don't think I could ever do anything like that.
I didn't do much either. I just watched the movie.
Yeah, I couldn't let that happen while somebody else was just right there and like, hey, knock it off.
All right.
I just I caught all your word mess ups. Intimacy is weird for me. Like I have a different opinion on it than most people.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Alright.
I gotta know yours though.
I'll tell you after the microphone's off.
Click.
Oh.
I can't do it.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Not if I'm giving out my real name at the start of the show. Not happening.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's fair.
Jacob Ladder. What was the weird?
Jacob
Ladder.
What's the weird?
That's-
Why don't you just name me Prince Albert and call it a day? Like,
Okay.
Okay, we're having way too much fun with
Yeah.
this now.
This is like the longest I think. I never thought we would go this long on.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. That
Yeah.
definitely.
I've been watching The Office a lot, so I'm just gonna Michael Scott everything now.
Anyone else? Anything else before we close this epic podcast on
Epic podcast.
on romantic flicks?
I don't think we can use it. I think somebody actually trademarked Epic Podcast. We might have to remove that from the video.
Epic
There's
podcast.
Luckily, there's no video, so we're covered.
There's no video.
Yeah, we're
The
good.
soundtrack. It's a whole thing through and delete it all.
We gotta start over.
Trash it. Cut.
I guess we're closing in then.
All right. There we go.
Yeah, your
Well,
turn.
Your
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. Okay.
We did it. Everybody sucks. All right.
All right.
That's what she said.
All right, Damage Control Podcasting is being recorded at Underdark Comics and Games in Quincy, Illinois. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook/UnderdarkComics, or check us out on our website at UnderdarkQuincy.com. Send us a message, send us an email, Facebook us, just come in and say hi. Also, Damage Control Podcasting says, do not illegally download content. Make sure you're always watching and downloading legally at all times. Support your creators.
And never do the popcorn trick. Unless you buy the popcorn, then you support the cinemas.
Yep. All
My
right.
turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Damage Control Podcasting. Find us out at Twitter at Dam Control. Look us up on Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr,
Yes.
and contact us at SoundCloud.
Instagram.
Where Instagram.
Instagram.
Check us out on SoundCloud, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. Contact us, please. Someone contact us at damagecontrolpodcasting@gmail.com.
Is anybody out there?
Yes. We are getting a lot of likes on SoundCloud. Have you been checking it out?
I have. I was actually there the other
We
day.
have a fan base of SoundCloud.
Nice. We're getting
Hooray.
there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're real boys.
Yay! I just told him I purchased better audio equipment. I'm working on getting a better studio setup for us.
You know that means people are going to be able to hear you better, right?
That sucks.
Yeah, right.
I've this editing equipment that I got. I'm buying software for it to spruce up the videos.
Nice.
That little generic title I did for Daniel's Money Shots, I just put it in there for generic. I'm gonna make it more of a better production value. We're gonna be a real, whatever this is. We're gonna be real.
Real podcast
company? No.
Make it a company. It's no longer fun.
Limited liability company? LLC?
A corporation, sir.
Really?
Yeah, it is
I've been
a-
saying it wrong for years.
I believe it's
Not surprised.
Yeah, I believe it's a limited liability corporation.
Oh. Can we be an LLC?
If you want to pay the fees.
You gotta pay a fee? I thought you just said it.
Oh no, there's a whole legal paperwork.
We can
involved
just
with
say
that.
it and not have it be a legally binding thing.
Then when someone wants money from us, then we're screwed because we're not actually limited.
Anyway.
So anyway, we're sprucing up the whole thing. We're gonna polish this up. Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah, definitely, yes. And look forward to polish in the near future for Damage Control Podcasting.
Yes, and more shows. Hey, can you when can we record our next YouTube video?
Coming soon.
Okay. All right.
To a channel near you.